like we wanted it to, but it's beautiful today. So if you missed it yesterday, you got it today. Beautiful spring day here in Ocala, Florida, Marion County. Good to be with you today again, as we are every weekday from 3 to 6. As you know by now, after all these months and almost 2 years now, we are on every afternoon from 3 to 6. The first 2 hours, news, views, interviews, information, sometimes trivia, what have you. And then 5 to 6 is sports every day. And, of course, this is a great time to have a sports program because there's a lot going on as we speak. The tournament is underway. We have a couple winners in the house. And hear that noise? Can you hear it right now? Listen. Hear it?
Yeah.
You hear it?
My bracket exploded.
Bracket's crashing.
Mine.
Bracket's crashing already, and we just got a couple of results.
Bucknell killed me. I'm done now.
Yeah, Bucknell losing today to a really good Butler team that I liked a lot. We'll talk about that in the sports hour. And then Michigan State having no problem with Valpo today, putting them away. They only won about like 10 or 12, but they were up by 20.
Valpo in my Final Four.
Whoa, yeah, sure you did. Yeah, well, there'll be some people who did, by the way. No question. So I'm 2-0, so I'm saying 2-0, and I just want to say one other thing. I never have been serious on the Final Four, on the brackets and stuff. I wasn't serious on football till this last year, and I decided to be serious. And what happened? What happened?
You won.
Okay, so I'm serious on my brackets this year.
Okay.
I haven't tried. I've done a little more study into it this year. Up late at night, researching.
Oh, really?
Yeah, checking things out, doing my charts. I do a lot of charts.
I thought you told me that you filled it out in about 5 minutes.
That was the old way.
I thought you said that like 2 days ago.
I said I probably will.
Oh, okay.
But, I took benefit of my research, which I'd done, decided to think it over.
So you had the war room with the whiteboards and everything,
I did. And I had to make a bunch of phone calls, college coaches,
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Sure. When you go about it academically, and you approach it intelligently instead of just knee-jerk, you can be 2-0, and you can be, a chance to win it all. And by the way, JJ, you have not thanked me yet.
Well, I think you might have jinxed the Hurricanes, honestly.
Why would I'm giving you love. Why would I jinx them? Hey, wait a minute. Did I jinx the teams last year in football?
I want them to be the underdog,
I'm pretty sure.
Well, there still are. Don't worry. I picked your Hurricanes.
I've actually seen a lot of people picking them for the
Colin Cowherd today picked them.
So you didn't.
On Sports Illustrated, they picked them to go to the. Colin Cowherd picked them to win.
Yeah, he did, and he obviously saw my bracket
for sure.
And
he listened yesterday.
Well, he probably did, or he just looked at the Facebook page, right?
Never mind. I'm just not getting involved in this discussion.
Good, because you don't have anything to talk. Because you already lost one.
I don't know if they're a great tournament team.
There are no great teams in this tournament. Just a lot of good teams.
Let me say this way it's been all year long.
Great team in basketball.
That's what makes for good tournaments.
Exactly.
And just like things change. Like American Idol, which has been so bad. Last night, 8 out of 10 knocked it out of the box. Really. This is what they've come for in 4 weeks. Really, really good. Now, these 8 kids have grown up before our eyes. So that's what's going to happen in basketball. See? Some teams are going to grow up. Like the Miami Hurricanes are about to grow up. Play with the big boys.
I feel you.
So, Florida, Florida's still got a chance here now. They could, if someone would turn the light switch on, they could get their guards to handle the ball in crunch time and get the ball to Patrick Young down low once in a while, and Patrick would go to the boards, and Murphy could not hit every third game. This team could win a national championship. That's not going to happen.
Doesn't this team set up, the Florida team kind of set up, though, like the 06 team? When
No.
You didn't think they were that good.
No,
they
the 06. Well, yes, they're
backing into the tournament.
Yeah.
And then they just went on a 6-game run, and just beat everybody.
But they had Noah and Horford and some guys who could go up and battle you. If you go back and look at those teams had a fast break off block shots so many times. Yeah. Sometimes Noah was in the middle on the run the break.
This team can break too, pretty good.
But they can't. They're not strong enough in the paint on defense. They just gave up 36 points or something, and more than that to Ole Miss in the paint. So they can't. Anyway, so we'll talk about Daniel Owens somewhere out there. Daniel, the city councilman, is on his way in to discuss a variety of topics. I hope I'm going to get a chance to hear his little sermon he's got. He got a good idea about how we can get some things done around here. That's one thing about the straw. You may not like him. He may be controversial, but he wants to get things done. And he's not afraid to go out there and put it out there and push for it. I like that.
You know what Daniel has? What you said yesterday to Brad Rogers. That's exactly what I thought of when you said this yesterday. So I thought, Daniel Owen's that type of person. You may not like the plan Daniel Owen has, but Daniel Owen always has a plan he's offering up.
And if you don't, give me something better.
Exactly.
If you don't like my plan, give me something better.
Yeah,
you know?
If you don't like this one, I'm open to hear what plan you got. And I agree with you yesterday. We didn't have a chance to talk about this, but at least there's a plan out there from the group that you're you're aligned with.
Mm-hmm.
This thought that, well, we'll just let the state take it over and they'll spend that palace money fixing it up, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do. That's horse manure. You got to have. There's a reason companies, Fortune 500 companies, have steering committees.
Why are we spending?
You got to have a plan.
Why are we spending all this money and effort to get FedEx in town, to get economic drivers, and we're sitting right here with something. It's already here, and really for no real investment, could have a multi-million-dollar business, could drive the economy of Marion County, and it's not like you're going to make it Disney World.
No.
I tell you what, Daniel and Brad and I went at it pretty good yesterday.
You did.
And I have felt bad when I got home, and this morning I texted him. I hope I wasn't too rude to you. But we probably ought to dig that tape out and let me hear it again. Let me see if I was, at least part of it.
I listened to the whole thing. Sean made
Was I rude?
Podcast. No, you were firm in your beliefs. That's what you were.
Okay.
The only time that I've ever come back to you and said, buddy, you might need to listen to what you said on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
It may have been taken wrong.
Was it yesterday?
Was a incident you'll remember that involved a coach that now works for CBS Sports.
Lines up.
And that's the only time that I've ever. And I listen to the show. I go back and do the podcast stuff and everything, and Sean Frazier does, and believe me, I'd tell you if I thought you had stepped outside the line.
Well, I did apologize to Coach Zook, didn't I?
You did?
Okay.
You had to.
All right. Anyway, I thought it was an interesting discussion, and even Brad said, well, I like debating with you, arguing with you.
It'll be up on our podcast for podcast.
Well, maybe we'll play it again
within
later
an
on
hour.
this time. Meanwhile, we got City Council on his way in. Today, 47 years ago today, guys.
47?
47 years ago. There's your number, JJ. I thought about you today. At a little building on 308 Forest Avenue in Cocoa, Florida, something happened that changed the entire world of journalism and changed a lot of lives.
Somebody told you weren't that good of a writer, and they revamped how you did things?
No,
something that has to do with NASA.
No, something happened significant in journalism. It was a huge deal. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
I'll come back. I'll tell you about it. I'm gonna talk to the man today.
Do we get to guess?
No, you can after the break.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you about it. It was a significant moment in my life, and I'll tell you the man who engineered it is going to be on the program today because this is the birthday of this event. So we'll take a break. Come back. We got Laurie Martin Gregory. She's got some good topics today, including Jimmy Fallon, maybe replacing Jay Leno. We'll talk about that, along with some other health news. And we'll talk to ponies today. Mike Compton's got some news for you, Tom. Some good news for you on one of your horses. And, of course,
Wonderful.
Franz Beer will be along to talk about hoops and what the Gators' chances are tomorrow. We'll update you on the CF Patriots who advanced last night to the Elite Eight, playing tonight. We'll tell you more about that right here on the Voice of Ocala. Stay tuned to
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source. Are you looking for a trustworthy auto care company that won't sell you something you don't need? Look no further than Affordable Auto Air and Care. Affordable Auto Air and Care has serviced Ocala for a decade and is family owned and operated. They offer quality parts at affordable prices, and they even include a 1-year or 12,000-mile warranty on their parts and labor. Their certified technicians work on any type of vehicle, even RVs. They specialize in auto AC, but they also offer oil changes, brake service, filters, tune-ups, shocks, axles, complete auto repair. Affordable Auto Air and Care is located at 1841 Northwest 4th Avenue on the corner of Old Jacksonville Road and 441. Call 352-401-0011 to book an appointment. That's 352-401-0011. Affordable Auto Air and Care. Complete auto repair. Take it from me, Tom Schmitz. I'm a customer.
Need a car? Need financing? Need somebody to cut through the red tape and send you rolling down the highway? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Got great credit and just prefer a quality pre-owned car at a fair price from somebody you can trust? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Want to avoid high pressure to feel appreciated and be able to choose from a wide selection of AutoCheck and Carfax certified vehicles? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala and Bellevue. Prestige, it's all there in our name.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day. Whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands, at Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Zandra Sunny Moon, a survivor of rape, unlawful imprisonment, mental and emotional abuse, and divorce. She's also a truck driver and an inspirational counselor for women, and she's written a book. It's called The Power of the Tights.
No, you're pronouncing it wrong. Go ahead.
The Power of the Teats.
Yes, teats. And then open for debate, where you get to choose the topic.
And then Josh Verdonk and Brad Burisma will be on with Winging It, telling about airplanes.
And then John Sotomayor, executive editor of Ocala Magazine with Ocala Magazine Radio.
Barbara A. Trotline will be on. She's a change leadership consultant and an inspirational speaker. She's written a book called Change Intelligence. Use your power to lead change.
Dr. Norman Straker is a consultant at the Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. He's written a book called Facing Cancer and the Fear of Death.
All of that plus fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live, right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
If you want to avoid getting ripped off and put more money in your pocket, then join me, Clark Howard, every weeknight at 6, right here on WOCA, The Source.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
Hello? Can you hear me? Because if you can, then so can your customers. Radio works. Call today to advertise your business right here on WOCA 1370, The Source.
The heart of the county. We're WOCA, News Talk 1370.
This is Tom Schmitz live in the WOCA studios with this news break brought to you by the Country Club of Ocala. Francis Marion Military Academy wants to move to the Hale Academy campus after Hale closes its doors in June. The charter school hopes to stay there about 4 years while it builds a new $2 million facility. Reaching an agreement will be complicated because the College of Central Florida owns the property and Hale Academy owns much of the furnishings and supplies, some of which have been promised to another school. Despite the complicated situation, Francis Marion board member Charles Dominguez says the idea looks promising after preliminary discussions with CF and Hale. This news break was brought to you by the Country Club of Ocala. If you would like to schedule a special event at one of Ocala's premier facilities, call 237-6644 today.
I've had nothing to live for, and look like nothing's gonna come my way. So I'm just gonna sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide.
Hi, welcome back to the program Voice of Ocala. It's the 21st, one day after spring, and yesterday looked like Seattle, cold, blustery. Today it's a little toastier, looks nice outside. I'm not sure what the weather forecast is, but good day to go out and watch some golf, and that's what a lot of people are doing. They're going to go down to Bay Hill and watch the Palmer Invitational, which our gang will be. Tom will be headed down that way tomorrow. He'll be missing the Friday gig at Gateway Bank on Community Gazette Day. He and Hunter will be there, and Keith Chartrand is there now.
Hunter's there now, too.
Yeah, and I've just got a text from Keith, and he says he's following Teddy Potter. You got to pick him up on number 9. He said Teddy Potter's 1 over through 7. and a bogey in his first hole. So we might get him at 16 or 17 later on in the program whenever we get to pick up with our man down there in Orlando, or if Hunter calls. I'm going to mention this letter again because when Daniel Owen comes in, I'm going to ask him about it.
This letter's really got you.
There's a couple things that
got
today.
You a little aggravated, didn't it?
Today, I'm a little aggravated about a couple of things, and I'm working on this. I'm trying not to be agitated. I've been working on this for about a year now, saying don't let things agitate you. Because you get agitated, it's like that DirecTV commercial used to be, you know.
Yeah, you end up in a roadside.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm trying not to be a DirecTV commercial, get agitated and make 4 mistakes instead of 1. But the one thing that really bugs me is people who sort of want to dissect a movement or a group of people and find something they don't like about them and then brand the entire group as being some kind of militant or somebody who's up to no good. You know what I mean?
So you're a militant capitalist.
I guess. I mean, and I know understand people are passionate about Silver Springs, and I know that they all have different ideas. And like I told Brad Rogers, I'm open. I've got a better plan. Bring it. You know, there's a plan out there, but it's not an official plan. It's one that somebody drafted because nobody else had done one. So if we don't want to sit by and wake up one day 5 years from now and say, gosh, there's a bunch of guys in green uniforms out there at the gate, and you know, you get to go out and park your car and watch the boats, you know, and watch the scuba divers. I see they've made a big move today to try to do more, you know, and they're not interested in connecting the national forest into ecotourism. Say, gosh, I wonder what happened 5 years ago. What did we think of that? Because we could have had another 2,000 jobs here, and it could have helped us a lot, and we're not messing up the place. We're not building condos, for crying out loud. I'm not an anti-development person, nor am I pro-development in terms of taking the state property and making something out of this residential. I'm just saying, please, could we have a little logic? We go to these meetings, and there's such a dichotomy in the
there's
people.
No gray. It doesn't seem like there's any gray area in these meetings you go to. People have very black and white attitudes.
Well, I'm right and you're evil. That's kind of how it is.
That's what I'm saying.
That's kind of how it is.
It's very black and white. It's almost like Congress.
Yeah, it is. And I think we're polarized as people. That's why we're having so much trouble. We don't talk to each other. We don't listen to each other. And we automatically demonize the other person because they have a different idea that we got.
So if
I'm not demonizing this woman.
Right.
I understand where she's coming from about the importance of the park being cleaned up.
But she kind of demonized the group that want to make a little money, off other things besides just ecotourism.
I don't think they want to make the money. They want us the county to make money.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, it's not like anybody's going to line their pockets here. You know, I know that there are people who are opportunists who go out there and put their hand in your pocket. And I understand that's kind of the society we have in some regard. But we can't say, you know, just because someone has an idea about developing this into a nice park and it has amenities, like we've talked about in the 1800s, the boats came down Silver Springs and they had dancing and dinner and, you know, a place to go. What would be wrong with something like that?
And by the way, what would be wrong with somebody making a little change off of it if it happened?
Well, I mean, having a job. How about that?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not interested in anybody investing and making money. That's another deal. But they do great because whoever invests has to put money up. Has to have skin in the game. People forget there's a risk involved with investing. Right. But we're not asking for Carnival Cruise Lines to come in here.
No, we're talking about something that creates jobs so that Marion County, the people in Marion County that are part of the unemployment numbers that are a little high, can come off the unemployment list. That's what you're talking about.
And Brad mentioned it yesterday. We should probably play this tape at some point, not today maybe, but about, well, you know, you don't want to, you know, we don't want this to turn into Disney World, so to speak. You know?
Well, we don't, but there's no. It's
and
not
I don't think anybody wants it.
Disney World.
Nobody wants it to be Disney World. And he brought up Issatukney Springs and Alexandria. We don't want it to be that either.
What's wrong with having a nice, you know, casual or semi-formal restaurant there that you could go have a nice dinner?
Well, he said somebody wants
springs.
a chain restaurant. Well, so what? I don't care. It could be local if someone's got a better idea. The state got one they would have put in there. I mean, what's wrong with having a nice restaurant?
What would be wrong with a Shula's Steakhouse going in there?
I don't know.
It's a very nice steakhouse. It would overlook the springs.
I wouldn't care if it was Mojo's. It'd be all right with me.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, the point is, I just think, because you know what? I want to go out there. I want to eat dinner out there.
I wouldn't mind Mark's having a downtown location.
Fine, put it out there. Let's do it. I mean, but anyway, this idea that, oh no, we have to make it a park. We're going to walk over, step over snakes
and alligators,
and that's just not how it ought to be. And I'm gonna try to just say this and then forget about it for the day until Daniel gets in. Then I'm sure we'll get riled up again.
He'll stir it up.
This line about this person. I'm gonna mention her name again. She probably thinks I'm attacking her, but she wrote this. She's out there in a letter to the editor. It's what it says right here. And once again, the part that got me was, after a few minutes of comments from the audience, meaning the meeting on March 7th, I didn't know if I was in the right meeting. Had I somehow come to a zoning hearing for a new strip mall or a shopping center instead? Were the local business leaders only concerned with how they would be able to benefit financially from the visitors? Let me say this. Why on one hand is it okay for the county and the city and the state to come together and Ocala 49 and attract businesses and get FedEx out there and get them involved, and on the other hand, we have a state park which could become an economic engine. It could open up the whole vista of 450,000 acres that could create a huge international ecotourism business, and that's wrong.
But I think the difference here, buddy, is what some people consider ecotourism and what other people consider ecotourism is not the same.
All right, I'm not thinking Walmart, okay, just in case anybody wants to know.
I understand that, but some people think when they think ecotourism, they think bike trails, walking trails, and kayaking, and you charge $2 or $4 for entry into those.
I'm all right with that. I'm okay with that.
While other people think ecotourism is opening up a swimming hole, but also because the swimming hole's there, you got 1,000 people in the swimming hole, having a guy on the banks of the swimming hole that may be able to serve lunch to the people that are there.
Whatever. I mean, the thing is, to be licensed, there'll be one person handling it, and it would be approved by the trustees under the model I've looked at, by groups of people who include the state, city, the county, whatever, and a group effort, and trying to produce, returning the springs to us. And especially Marion County, but all of Florida, returning it to Florida, and then giving us an opportunity to see if we can grow some business there that are beneficial to all, including, I might add, the tax dollars it will generate,
right,
which will help run your schools.
And look, Buddy nor I are talking about Billy Bob the Slob hot dog stand. We're not talking about something that's an eyesore.
No, Mike Billy Bob's, it sounds pretty good to me right now.
It does sound pretty good, but but we're not talking about eyesores. You're talking about legitimate businesses that could be part of the economy of Ocala and Silver Springs, but fit in well at the state park.
I just realized people are probably sick and tired of hearing me talk about this.
Well, you're a little angry.
I'm not. Well, I'm agitated, and then maybe Daniel Owen will calm me down when he gets here a little bit. No, not really.
No, there's no shot of that.
But the other thing is that tomorrow, ask the cops while you're sunbathing down at Bay Hill.
Okay, first off, will not be sunbathing.
Yeah.
I'll be standing under the umbrella at the butt. Never mind.
Yeah, with some kind of drink with an umbrella drink in your hand.
No.
JJ will be here working in the studio. I'll be over there doing my job, and you'll be out sunbathing in Bay Hills. But
I'll send text to JJ just telling him how good a time I'm having.
He's not going to read them, so it doesn't matter.
He'll be watching basketball.
I wanted to say tomorrow is Ask the Cops.
It is.
Which I
brought to you by Daniel Hightower. PA.
Thank you, Mr. Hightower. We appreciate your sponsorship. Makes it possible for us to bring these shows to you, people to step up and sponsor programs. And I'm proud of this show. Maybe I'm overrating it. I don't know, but I'm proud of this show because it gives us opportunity and access to talk to the top police officers, if you will, the law enforcement people in the county and the city, to get direct information and to learn more about and even express concerns if that's the case. Like, would it be too personal for me to complain again about the people coming to my door?
No.
Think Chief Graham's tired of hearing me say that?
You're talking about the unsolicited people that come knock on your door and say they want something to sell you, and you're like, I don't have time, and they still try to put their foot in the door and get you to...
And no vehicle outside.
Right.
What about the thing? No vehicle outside.
They get dropped off 6 or 7 at a time.
They just appear on your front door. Yeah. Appear at your front door, kind of like Daniel Owen just did.
Well, you live inside the city. Maybe Daniel Owen could help pass an ordinance to get rid of it.
I know we have a panhandling ordinance. I know now in the county, which I understand, like the city's got. And I'm trying to figure out how to keep these solicitors, who are obviously from the same group, who come in the neighborhood with a van,
and
drop off about 8 kids, or not kids, adults, and go knocking on doors to sell people things.
Remember how they used to sell...
And will not take no for an answer.
Remember how they sold magazines that way back 20 years ago? That's how they sold magazines and stuff.
All right, I'm getting stoked up again, and I got Daniel.
Well, Daniel will
soon.
calm you down.
I know he'll calm me down. So we'll take a break, come back, and the councilman's here. He's got a plan. I hope he'll share with us today. Right here in the Voice of Ocala. He's busy. Got to go to a meeting. Got to get him on the air fast. Stay tuned to the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's national magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444. Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Hi, this is Brad, one of the hosts of Winging It here on WOCA every Friday at 9 a.m. I want to take a moment to talk about a serious issue regarding aviation. In the next 5 years, the aviation industry is projected to have a shortage of commercial pilots, in part due to the lack of new pilots starting their flight training now. A pilot needs 2 to 3 years to get through their training and to build up enough flight time to be able to be hired. Now is the time to start training. Ocala Flying Club has started a scholarship for the youth of Marion County ages 17 to 24. The club will donate up to $4,000 towards a private pilot's license. This license will help get the student on their way to obtaining their commercial pilot license. Now, of course, the student does not have to have aspirations of becoming a commercial pilot. If they simply have a desire to obtain their private pilot's license so they may enjoy the adventures of flying, they may also apply for the scholarship. If this sounds like something you would be interested in, or if you know someone that would be, please contact me, Brad, or Ron at Ocala Aviation Services, 861-7484. That's 861-7484.
Hi, I'm Fran Tarkenton, former NFL quarterback and member of the Hall of Fame. I know the importance of a game plan. A plan is the key to your success as well. Join me on Common Sense Retirement Planning Sunday at 10 a.m. on WOCA 1370 AM and 96.3 FM The Source. And call us at 855-770-7926 for a free consultation with my financial professional in your area. See you on the radio 10 a.m. Sunday here on WOCA.
Don't get caught without your daily source of senior deals. Pick up your copy of the Senior Voice newspaper. It's your source for schedule and events tailored to seniors, with information you need, like a list of free events in the area. We even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company to you that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about them. For more information, call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223. And pick up your copy of the Senior's Voice at most any business up and down the 200 corridor.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Where at Florida? Sunshine today, some clouds, and cool, high 67 to 71. Clear and quite cool tonight, low 44 inland, 50 along the coast. A mix of sun and clouds tomorrow and a bit warmer, high 71 to 75. For Saturday, some sun followed by clouds with a shower and thunderstorm likely. It'll be warmer, high 81 to 85. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
WOCA, Ocala.
Sitting here resting my bones, and this loneliness won't leave me alone. Listen. 2,000 miles I roam just to make this dock my home. Now I'm just gonna sit at the dock of a bay.
All right, after a long absence, he returns. Been a while since the straw has been in the house. We had to reintroduce him to everybody because they forgot what he looked like. He's back. City Councilman Daniel. Oh, what's your middle initial?
Actually, Daniel. The name is James Daniel Owen.
Should I call you J.D. Owen?
J.D.
And how
J.D.
could
Owen.
you forget that mug, buddy?
J.D. Owen. How you been, man?
Doing good. I was just sitting there thinking, you said that with a straw, we ought to get some sort of, you ought to have like diplomatic Thursdays or something and get myself and the mouth of the South, John Brantley, in here, and just,
that'd be
we
good.
just sit back, just
I
open the
wouldn't have-
mics.
I just sit. I'd be a remote control. I wouldn't have to worry about it. Just be right on a remote control, and I'd just let you guys go at it. But saw him the other day. He was his usual self. He and one of the coaches in town.
Gorgeous start to the spring. How about this weather? Is fantastic, isn't it?
It was a hiccup yesterday, but boy, today it's great.
Man, it's fantastic.
Loving it right now. What are we doing in the city? Looks like a lot of things went on at the meeting, at the council meeting, stuff happening, and I know you've got some issues to deal with, but are you encouraged at all the news so far, or the things I'm reading about? We got some buildings moving in here. Economically, there's a furniture store coming in. It looks like there's a few businesses opening up. Are you optimistic about what's happening?
Buddy, absolutely. There has been a ton of work by a lot of individuals, obviously from the private side, which is what makes the whole world go around. But as you saw in the paper with the FedEx, we did some more things between the city and the county.
I see that.
On Tuesday night, there's some, I'd call them logistical things. Give you an example. There's a gas main that's running up through some portions of that property up there with, I believe it's Tico, that's got to be moved. So there's some dollars involved in that. Just some infrastructure things that were needed to be done as we continue to move forward, and the due diligence gets done with that. And so the county and the city in complete agreement on that. I'll tell you, FedEx, as we know, they're some big dogs, and they're going to come in, and I think we're going to be really impressed at the speed of which they can go. As the great Yogi Berra always said, predictions are always tough, especially ones about the future, but I would anticipate that you could possibly see in January seeing dirt moved out there with FedEx, and once they start moving dirt, it will go fast. And we're talking, I give you an example when we talk about, we don't get too optimistic, but you almost have to just smile for a little bit, and when they turn in their plans, and we talk about how many people are going to employ it in there, all I can tell you is they turned in plans to build a 962 space parking lot.
Space. Okay, so that's
whatever.
What is it?
Do we read into that? Do we not read into that? I don't know. Obviously,
well, two people per car would make nice numbers.
It would make for some good numbers. So I think we're going to see some fast moving on that. So that's good. Yeah, the furniture stores that are coming in, some other things. We're really starting. The economy is I wouldn't say it's started to turn, but people are continuing to get excited about Ocala, which is a good thing. And a lot of this stuff, the work that's been done, you're starting to see. Starting to reap some of these benefits, starting to see some of these things come to fruition.
Long, hard pull for 5 years, but now things
it is,
and
it's starting to turn, and it's fun. And I tell you, buddy, from a strictly elected official, political standpoint, to be sitting on city council in my 12th year now, it is great to see that now it's I don't know if you want to call it cool or status quo or whatever for economic development, because we weren't there 5 or 6 years ago, and people can say what they want to. We weren't. People are still questioning, and at the county, even the city level, sometimes
maybe even sleep with the switch. In some regards,
do we not? Well, all of a sudden, the economy tanks, and all of a sudden, it's popular to do that thing. So it's good that it sees. I hope it stays here, and I hope it stays here for a long time. In our strategic session that we had back in January at the city, our number one goal was we want to be the financial hub of Marion County. Period. And so we're going to continue to do that, as long as I'm up there and able to do. I want to keep pushing that, and keep involved. We had the governor here last week. Mayor Gwynn was, we just kept calling and calling and calling. And of course, when you get FedEx on the line, and all of a sudden they're coming in, that turns the governor's head. So he was obviously was here and getting his photo ops in. It's election year, so you got to make the rounds and tout all those jobs and everything. But it's good stuff and it's exciting stuff. And buddy, as you talked about it for as long as I can remember. It's almost like returning to our roots from, be it 50 years ago, be it 150 years ago, is the history. You can't deny the history. You can't deny the facts of the synergy that this little old place we call home and this little old place we call Ocala was the center of a heck of a lot of activity.
Center being the operative word because, as we know, that's where DeSoto came through. So obviously that route still works pretty good. And you're in a sort of a campaign to get people off the I-75 and get them over there. I've noticed less traffic the last couple of years, even on Silver Springs Boulevard. There was a time when I was living in my little house over here 5-6 years ago, when getting across the boulevard during March was impossible. Now I get off there, drive off at night, just jump on the road, and there's hardly any traffic. I don't know what that means. Is it because there's Silver Springs is shut down, or what do you think it is?
Well, quite honestly, a lot of things, and it again is a testament that I think as we're starting to see this county grow, that Ocala, as I said back in 2001 when I first came on council, the city of Ocala proper is getting smaller and smaller, and we do not have a growth problem. We're getting smaller, and we're becoming less and less. By 2030, buddy, the U.S. Census numbers, if you can read into them and see we are headed towards the city of Ocala being less than about 5% of the population of Marion County. Now,
we need to start annexing.
Well, that would be great. So if we can't annex, and in which people don't want to do that, and people say, well, you're trying to, whatever, you're just trying to get more tax dollars, tax dollars. And let me tell you, folks, the dirty little secret, you are absolutely right. Yeah. Because tax dollars, when used efficiently and when used effectively, help for a lot of these people who like to complain. When we look in the Star Banner and we see these people who complain about their government officials, and they complain about this and they complain about that, I'll promise you at some point during the week, they get in their car and they go on these roads that tax dollars help pay for, and they get on these sidewalks and they go to parks and they go to a lot of places, and that's what we do. We're trying to build a quality of life and quality of place and everything that we do here at the city. So yes, I want to see the city grow, and at being less than 5% of this, so when you go to your question of why do we don't see so much traffic, there's just other opportunities. I mean other places. I mean, again, look at the villages. It's now a zip code. It was an Orange Grove in 1985 when I was in high school.
Orange Grove is a zip code.
It was absolutely. And when I was in high school in 1985, going to Orlando, we played basketball games and baseball, and a lot of our high school games were down there. You can remember when you got out of Bellevue, you roll the windows down, you smelled orange trees all the way down to Orlando.
All the way to Claremont,
right there, and boom, and now what do? You smell red lights. If there's such a thing.
You're right, and you mentioned this earlier in your traffic pattern thing, but there's a lot of people who live in the county who commute to Ocala.
Tons.
So you only got, let's say, what have we got, 50,000, 45,000 people in Ocala.
Yep.
But you may have another 80 or 90 that come here, even some from out of county, who drive here for their jobs and go home.
Yes.
So they're using our roads.
Yes.
Right?
They use our roads, and that gets into the whole gas tax thing, which we're going to be dealing with on the county in the coming weeks. When you look at Bellevue and you look at Ocala and you look at Dunellen, these municipalities swell during the day, obviously for a lot of reasons. But a lot of people come to work, people come to shop, people come to church, people come to the doctor. It's life, right? I mean, it's life. There's, I don't fault anybody. People like to live out, in the unincorporated areas of Marion County, and the people like that life. It's cheaper. It's that freedom, that privacy, all of that thing that comes with it. But I will tell you, they get in their car, they come into one of these municipalities at some point, and they partake.
Yep.
And so we got to be able to pay for all that kind of stuff.
We're going to run short on time, I know, because I got a point you got to make on what you want to bring up, and Tom has a question. Tom, make your question quick.
It's very quick. I just need an update.
I didn't. Do you have pictures?
No. Is there any movement? I saw a headline in the Star Banner a couple of weeks ago about the city and the school board. Is there any movement in the relationship between the city and the school board coming towards the end of this school year?
Gosh, we're on the air, and that makes it so. My diplomacy.
The answer is no.
There's
okay.
about as much
Let's
movement as
move
a
on.
constipated bull. I promise you.
The answer is no. Let's move on.
Well, no, we'll see. It's over in the district court of appeals right now. It's an unfortunate thing. I went on my little I don't know what you want to call it. My I can't even think of the word. My self-imposed refusal to talk to our local media, print media. I mean, it's one thing to report a story, buddy. It's another thing to manufacture one. And I think a few weeks back I was accused of telling some students they couldn't speak in a public meeting, which is the furthest thing from the truth. And the headline even showed the fact, when you read the headline, that students almost diverted, right? You know, what does almost mean?
Could be a lot of things.
It means that it
didn't
didn't happen.
50%.
Whatever is in front of the word almost, and the word that happens almost, means that it didn't get
like
from
almost famous.
Yeah, like almost famous. I almost used to be somebody.
Exactly.
But I'm not. So
well, let me stop you right there, because we'll never get this in. And
I'm sorry, buddy. You know,
I want to tease. Well, we only got about a minute and a half in this segment.
There's nothing funner than an open mic. You know that.
But I want you to address. Will you address the thing?
Absolutely.
Your idea, please. Go ahead. I'm going to give you the microphone. Please tell us your idea. I don't even have time to talk about my letter. Well, that's another time. But go ahead and talk about that.
As far as we're getting into,
well, you say you're a bit of a visionary. Oh no, how we can get the things we want, which are. We obviously want to get a ballpark if we possibly can, right?
Yeah.
Silver Springs is something we want to have. Yeah. And we probably need to look into taking care of things in the horse industry a bit. So tell me your plan.
Absolutely. You know, we continue to be, and we keep hearing it, the horse capital of the world, and it's great and it's wonderful, so I get it. I give up. You know, we're the horse capital of the world. So let's go from horse capital of the world to horsepower of a different kind in any and every area that we can in Marion County. And you've talked about it, buddy. We all talk about it, and we all know it. Even in little old Marion County, which we're not that little, the 5th largest landmass county in the state, we have so much diversity, even in just the topography of our land, right? I mean, just in the, we got a forest, we got a river, we've got, open space, we've got all types of, we've got the Santos, and the greenways, and we've got, you think about it, man, just within an hour's drive into this county, you can find just about anything you want to do. Now, we don't have the beach, but we can get to the beach in an hour. So when we talk about the New York Yankees, that may or may not come, it's exciting. It's not, and God bless, if there's anybody listening to this from Kansas City, I'm sorry, but it's not like we're trying to get excited about the Kansas City Royals, all right? This is the New York Yankees. I mean, the premier logo, if you will, marketing, juggernaut that they are in baseball.
Great brand.
We look at the Springs. We look at the horse park, which continues to be successful, continues to bring a lot of things, and so we have to start asking ourselves. The article was in the Star Banner just what I think last week. What was it? Some sort of what now, or how are we going to find? We need, everything depends on money from Palace, right. Entertainment to do these things. And I'm like, folks, don't just miss the boat. We're always looking. What can we do locally, each and every one of us locally, to secure the Springs, and what can we do to secure baseball, and what can we do to secure the horse park?
And I'm going to stop right there, because we come back. We have about 3 minutes. We'll finish up the story. Daniel Owens' plan for what we can do to secure this. Coming up next, right here in the voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, the source. Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
Right now, somewhere in the world, there is a bear waking up from a long winter's hibernation. Scientists are not 100% sure how a bear knows winter is over, but I think I may have an explanation. Here it is. Spring comes to Florida first, so Florida gardeners get that spring fever first and head over to Kenny's Place Nursery. They go to Kenny's Place for gazanias, impatiens, geraniums, and begonias, all for 99 cents each. They also head to Kenny's Place Nursery for pansies, selling for $4 for $1. Now, that is a honey of a deal. Well, the thought of the honey reminds those gardeners of the special role pollinators, like bees, have in the garden. Now, every bear knows that where there are bees, there is honey. So, their noses wiggle, their ears twitch, and boom, the bear wakes up. And all because of a great sale at Kenny's Place Nursery. Who knew? Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a honey of a deal at Kenny's Place.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today. All right, 47 years ago today, something significant happened in Cocoa, Florida. I'll tell you about that next hour. We're joined by one of the men who helped it happen. Laurie Martin Gregory coming up, also with Healthy Living and Pop Culture. Now, Daniel Owen and the plan on how to fix things so we can get Silver Springs launched, we can get the stadium for the Yankees, and we can also build up the horse park. Go, Daniel.
Well, you know, buddy, as I was talking to you last week, and the ability for us to get these things is out there, and we would be remiss, I think personally, if we didn't take that opportunity locally to continue, I think, to take Marion County, City of Ocala, really to a new level. With that, obviously the Yankees, the Silver Springs acquisition, which we all know. I know it's been going around for, 2 years now, buddy, just the endless possibilities of what could happen. And folks, if you're out there and you're listening, or anybody, find yourself a penny, good old Abraham Lincoln penny. And then when you hold that penny in your hand, take your thumb and cover up half of that penny and look at that half of cent.
Well, a penny won't buy anything. How could a half a cent buy anything?
I'm going to tell you what a half a cent will get you. It'll get you the New York Yankees. It'll get a funding stream for the Silver Springs Park. That would be unbelievable. It would get a funding stream for the horse park, I think. We saw last week Maury Dean and his group with the Fort King historical site and looking to return that, obviously, and get some funding for that.
Great project.
A half a cent, folks, if everybody would agree, would take this county to a completely new level.
You know, a tax, a special tax, or
we can call it recreation. We can call it funding. I would call it, investment in ourselves opportunity.
But you're allowed every year, don't you? You're able to put that up to a referendum.
Absolutely,
right?
and the county would have to do that, which is what we're to do. And we're hopefully, at some point, the county commission, I think, is going to be, put on the spot, quite honestly, to do they want to do that. Now, I know in this. This times that we live in when that word, gets thrown out there, but we got to look at it as opportunity.
People took oaths not to raise taxes, Daniel. You know that.
You know what? And they wouldn't be doing that. It simply goes to a referendum, and the people of Marion County get to vote for that.
How much is it going to cost you? Sales tax, right?
We're talking about a half-cent sales tax, which pushed out there for 5 years, and it'll be a sunset. We can sunset this thing. Say, listen, for 5 years, folks, we're going to collect a half-cent sales tax on anything and everything. The estimations are we will generate close to $100 million. What? Just a half a penny, half a cent. All right, not a whole cent, Just a half cent.
Wow.
If we went with a half-cent sales tax, so you got to look at, so you go to dinner and your bill's $30, and 72 cents, so all of a sudden it's
73 cents.
It's 73 cents kind of deal. All right.
Round it up.
So is that worth to you, Buddy Martin? Is that worth to everybody who's listening? Is it worth just a little bit of a half cent of everything you do for the next 5 years to secure the New York Yankees in Marion County, to secure Silver Springs and the endless possibilities that could happen? Because I think that once we as a county step up to the plate and say, here we are, we have some money, we are investing in ourselves in the spring, I'd take that and go straight to the state. The governor was just here and say, listen, we're going to ask for some help from DEP here, and we're going to talk about cleaning the springs. We personally are stepping up. We as a community are stepping up. So then what can the state do? And I think they'll see that. And so we're coming to the table with stuff. We've seen that at the city of Ocala. You've seen that in economic development. Ocala comes to the table with some skin in the game. We come to the table and we say, listen, we believe in this. We want to do this. And so other people see that, and it starts to go. So
we got 30 seconds.
Hopefully we can get it done.
How can we make it happen? What do we have to do?
Folks, we're going to ask at some point the county commission, probably in the next 90 days, to put on a referendum, and we will have a special one-day election. It would be awesome to have that sees, and we see the possibility of a half cent changing the course of Marion County for the next 100 years.
That's going to be a tough one.
It's going to be an extremely tough one.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out what Marion County's about.
Well,
and if it doesn't pass, all these people that write in and complain about government not doing anything about this county, quit writing letters, folks.
Daniel Owen, the Straw, is always with us here and always stirring it up. I know you got to go, Daniel. Thank you very much for coming in today on a busy day. The Straw, speaking out, the half cent plan. It could work. I like it. All right. Coming up next hour, we'll tell you about what exactly did happen 47 years ago. To me, it was a significant thing, and to those of us who are in the world of journalism, somewhat, and it had a great impact nationally. That little building on 308 Forest Avenue in Cocoa, Florida, when something happened on March 21st, 1966. 47, JJ's favorite number. He always loves that 47. So we got that coming up. Laurie Martin Gregory will talk to us about, is Jimmy Fallon going to replace Jay Leno? That's all the talk. Plus, Laurie's always got some good health advice. She'll have that, too, for you right here on the program. So stay tuned to the Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Tall and she grew up right with them Indiana boys on an Indiana night.
Hi, I'm Lisa Midget with Kinetic Motion Fitness, Ocala's premier small group and personal training fitness studio. Did you know you can achieve all your fitness goals, whether that's losing weight, getting fit, or training for a personal best, all with no membership fees? Have you ever been embarrassed or intimidated at a big gym because you're not a Greek god or a size 0 supermodel? Have you ever felt like your gym would rather you not even show up? At KMF, we have a team approach that focuses on small classes and personal training, and you'll feel like family, not just another number. No more boring treadmills or endless reps. Our classes are fun, energetic, and get you the results you want. And I should know, with the help of our great trainers, I lost over 100 pounds in 8 jean sizes, and I did it using no heavy equipment and no magic pills, just fun and effective workouts. And yes, I did say fun. Come join us at KMF. Visit our website at kmfocala.com or like us on Facebook. Again, that was kmfocala.com.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family-first club. Again, we have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little bit of something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center that's second to none, and we have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family would ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source. If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, it's our business to make your business better. Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
Right now, somewhere in the world, there is a bear waking up from a long winter's hibernation. Scientists are not 100% sure how a bear knows winter is over, but I think I may have an explanation. Here it is. Spring comes to Florida first, so Florida gardeners get that spring fever first and head over to Kenny's Place Nursery. They go to Kenny's Place for gazanias, impatiens, geraniums, and begonias, all for 99 cents each. They also head to Kenny's Place Nursery for pansies, selling for $4 for $1. Now, that is a honey of a deal. Well, the thought of the honey reminds those gardeners of the special role pollinators, like bees, have in the garden. Now, every bear knows that where there are bees, there is honey. So, their noses wiggle, their ears twitch, and boom, the bear wakes up. And all because of a great sale at Kenny's Place Nursery. Who knew? Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a honey of a deal at Kenny's Place.
Mark your calendars for Saturday, April 6th for the Francis Marion Military Academy Spring Fling at the Ocala Shrine Club on Mary Camp Road. Join the first annual Swamp Fox Chili Cook-Off and Classic Car Show. Take a chance on winning one of 5 different late model vehicles for the unbelievably low price of just $20 per ticket. Only 5,000 tickets will be sold. The proceeds benefit the Francis Marion Military Academy. Businesses, organizations, and talented individuals are invited to show off their cooking skills and to compete for the best tasting chili. Go to swampfoxevents.com for the registration directions to the Shrine Club, Car Show, Chili Cook-Off. Join our sponsors in supporting the Academy. Remember, that's Saturday, April 6th for the Francis Marion Military Academy Spring Fling at the Ocala Shrine Club on Mary Camp Road. The first annual Swamp Fox Chili Cook-Off and Classic Car Show. For more information, call Charlie at 843-7790. That's 843-7790. 843-7790. Or visit swampfoxevents.com.
What's up with you this weekend?
Just doing my taxes.
Doing your taxes? Go to Liberty Tax. Do you want your money fast, or do you want to wait?
Fast, I guess.
That's right. And where do you get America's fastest refunds?
Liberty Tax Service.
Let Liberty Tax show you the freedom.
Find us at libertytax.com or call 866-871-1040 today to find a location near you. That's 866-871-1040. That's 866-871-1040.
Liberty Tax Service.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
Hope in the battle against a common form of cancer. It would use a patient's genes. It alters their immune system, and it's brought about remission in adults who have acute leukemia. It's only been tried in a small number of patients, and it has not been successful in all of them, but doctors say they are encouraged. America's biggest bank wants to protect customers from fees associated with payday loans. Chase says it'll limit the fees that customers are charged when they overdraw their accounts to make payments to such lenders. Payday loans target low-income earners, and they usually come with very high interest rates. You may see a lot more people using Google Glasses for more purposes. A new patent filing says the spectacles could be used to control subjects in your home, like your garage door or the refrigerator. Maybe you follow your school's basketball team, or maybe you filled out the bracket because everybody at work is in the office pool, and you said, why not? The annual rite of passage and drop in work productivity called March Madness is now underway. This is ABC News.
Geico says, let's make life simpler.
You need to buy something, but you don't want to make a mistake. So what do? Scour the web? Collect sales circulars? Ask your brother-in-law? How about this? When it comes to car insurance, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating. I repeat, 97%. So make it simple. Just ask a friend who has Geico. Then click or call. You could make it 98%.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Mom, I had the best dream.
Well, good morning to you, too.
Okay, so I was a knight. I had a sword, and our house was a castle. There was this angry dragon. It was kinda scary.
Oh, yeah?
But I protected the castle.
Oh, that's my brave little man. I'm glad our castle is safe.
Your home is your castle, and sometimes you need help defending it. The National Association of Realtors supports maintaining homeowner tax incentives because they make home ownership more affordable for more families. Learn more at houselogic.com.
I'm just sick of all the amateur stuff, you know? I mean, like, if I'm paying top dollar, I want a little production value, you know? Like some editing, transition, something, some music.
Don't worry, we didn't leave you.
He's gone? He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Our bosses say we gotta stay.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei. It's time for the second hour of The Voice of Ocala. Hoo-ah!
You ever come across anything like time travel?
Come on, stick around. It's free.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you still win.
All right, welcome to Hour 2. Like the man said, this hour, we're going to talk about the event of 47 years ago, which is significant to me and some people I know in the journalism business, and it was a topic of conversation on Facebook today because of the significance of this. So what happened there was a newspaper was born. It started from scratch, and it set off a whole chain reaction, literally, of newspapers back in the glory days of newspapers. As we all know today, there aren't any of those anymore. But back then, when newspapers were flourishing, this paper started in Cocoa, Florida. Gannett Company started it. It was called Today, and it was quite an experiment. It was done brilliantly by Al Newhart, who was later became the CEO of Gannett, and by a group of people, including Jim Head, the editor. I was privileged to have served there and been the sports editor of that paper for 5 years, 5 of the best years ever. And it was just really an experience that I'll always cherish. We called it Camelot for a reason. Basically, a bunch of 20 and 30-somethings there working for a man in his 40s who was the editor, and for Al Newhart, who was really wanted to be catapulted. You may have read his column in USA Today, to become the top person in Gannett and a huge chain, and later on started Today newspaper, started the national paper. This paper was called Today. Its motto was Start Today Bright. It's back when the Cape was booming. We were sending missiles up all the time, rockets up, and people on the moon. All the exciting time down there of things going on in the space age, as they called it. And it became something of a national sensation. Won numerous awards the first 5 years. Really won the hearts of the people down there. Today, still going pretty strong as far as newspapers are. It's called Florida Today because in 80 or 81, USA Today was born, and the paper became Florida Today. So that was quite a day, 47 years ago today. I remember that night, and remember the press coming, rolling the paper off in the first issue and all the things that happened. So it's a bit of a memory lane for me, and you'll have to indulge me a little bit on that today. I'm going to talk in a minute with Jim Head, who was the executive editor at the time, later to become editor at Parade Magazine and many other jobs in the country, of national prominence and working in newspapers. He now lives in Beverly Hills in Citrus County. So we'll remember that, have a moment of talking about that. Then Laurie Martin Gregory joins us. She'll be here, and she's talking about pop culture. And I believe, Tom, she called that shot on Jimmy Fallon, didn't she?
She said that Jimmy Fallon would eventually take over the Tonight Show. And Jimmy Fallon and Jay Leno last night made light of the whole situation. But an executive who, wants to remain anonymous because of ongoing stuff says it's going to happen. So, we've heard this before. Remember, Conan did the same thing. But I think Jay Leno this time has, with his, what's the word you use? Vitriol, is that the correct word?
Well, vitriol is one, yeah.
Yeah, towards NBC. That he may have burned his own bridge here.
Well, he always has done that. That's been a trendy thing to do.
But it's become really mean-spirited.
Well, it's become mean-spirited because things are bad at NBC. That's one of the problems, and of course, and Leno. Let's face it, he's the LeBron James of TV. Except LeBron James has been forgiven somewhat. By the way, speaking of which, what an incredible comeback last night by the Heat. Keep on winning. We'll talk about that in sports. But so anyway, Jay Leno, he made his own bed, and a lot of people are still unhappy with what he did in the whole the last dance, shall we say, where Coney got shoved back out and Jay Leno came back in. He claims it wasn't his fault, but anyway, as the world turns in late night television, I guess that's significant news. I don't know who watches those shows. Do you guys watch them?
I do. I watch Jimmy Fallon.
Do you watch Jimmy Fallon? You're up that late? How do you stay up that late?
I DVR it.
You watch it the next night or what?
The next time I get a chance. But I don't watch Jay Leno at all.
No, I don't either.
I don't watch him or Letterman.
I will turn over to Letterman occasionally, like once every 2 weeks if I'm up that late, and just check it out, see where his guest star or something. But I'm not a big devotee to David Letterman. Okay, that noise we heard first hour, that crashing sound, just got bigger. JJ's sworn off college basketball already. He's done.
His exact words were, I'm never going to follow it again for the purposes of gambling or brackets. I'm just going to follow it as a fan.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm cheering for the Hurricanes. I don't care.
Oh, you are cheering for him now. Oh,
Pittsburgh
okay.
screwed me up.
Okay,
already.
Screwed you up. I had him winning the first 3 games.
I had him beating. I had him winning 3 games too. Had him beating,
killer.
Yeah.
Only had I had 2 teams that went out on. That was one, and VCU's one. Those are the 2. And one of them's dead, so I'm in trouble. But if we didn't hear the scores already, Wichita's crushing Pittsburgh 67-53 with a minute to go or so, right?
Correct. St. Louis is beating New Mexico State badly, 60-39. That game's almost over as well. Memphis early in the second half is beating St. Mary's 34-29. Marquette's beating Davidson in the first half 22-19. Mississippi State already beat Valpo pretty badly.
Michigan State.
Right.
You said Mississippi.
Oh, Michigan State, my bad. And Butler beat Bucknell today.
Yeah, I started off pretty good there. Then all of a sudden I've crashed and burned now. So there'll be a lot of whining on this program about brackets, that's for sure. Nice story today. I put it on my Facebook page, written by Mark Purdy from San Jose, about Rick Majerus and the impact he left on the St. Louis team, which you tend to forget that he died in December. He was the coach of that team. Of course, a great coach at Utah, his impact on the team, and how they did not choose to dedicate the season to him because they thought it would cheapen his death. And he's very much part of what they're doing, and his whole system has been installed. They still run it there, and all the players still think of him every day, and they always will relish their time with him, but they didn't dedicate the season. That's kind of funny, isn't it? They thought in some way it may cheapen the fact that he had died in December. So, interesting. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk to Jim Head for a moment, and then we'll have Laurie Martin Gregory coming up next right here on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA The Source.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on The Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444.
Accident, injured, hurting. Pain affects so many of us and keeps us from enjoying our daily routine. This is Dr. Riyad Fakuri, board-certified chiropractic orthopedist at the Fakuri Medical and Chiropractic Center. Let me visit with you to answer your questions. Let us help you help yourself on the Head to Toe Care Show every Wednesday, 11 a.m. on WOCA. Again, that's Dr. Riyad Fakuri, here to help you on the Head to Toe Care Show every Wednesday, 11 a.m. on WOCA, The Source.
130-166, 130-166, 130-166, 130-166.
What's that number?
Oh, Sean, hey, that's the number to join the March Mayhem Bracketology Challenge against the Voice of Ocala staff. If you want to join it, all you got to do is go to Yahoo Group 130-166, put in the password BuddyShow1, that's BUDDY-SHOW, the number 1, and you too can compete against us in the March Mayhem Bracket Challenge, brought to you by the Voice of Ocala at 130-166, 130-166, 130-166. Oh,
it's over.
Okay. The deadline to join the Voice of Ocala's March Mayhem Bracket Contest is 12 p.m. on March 21st. That's right, the deadline is 12 p.m. this Thursday to join the Voice of Ocala March Madness Bracket Contest.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the Voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA, The Source.
All right, welcome back to the program, Voice of Ocala. Laurie Martin Gregory, she's here. In a couple of minutes, she'll join us to tell us about pop culture. Jimmy Fallon, Jay Leno, plus some healthy tips. I've been saying all day, this is significant to a few of us who were there 47 years ago. I understand Tom and Daniel were not born then, but hey, history went on without them. It was a significant day for journalists because there was a paper that started from scratch in 1966 called Today. And it was quite a phenomenon. It catapulted to national fame, went on to win a ton of awards, with some terrific reporting, innovation in the way the paper was designed. And it was Today, and it was the forerunner of the paper that would come 15 years later called USA Today. And, of course, later became this paper in Cocoa, and they moved to Melbourne. It's called Florida Today now. The editor of that paper was Jim Head, my boss, who hired me there. And Jim lives in Citrus County now, and I've asked him to join us just for a couple of minutes and chat about this day 47 years ago. Jim, how you doing?
Fine, buddy.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Great. I asked you to jot down two or three things that you think were most significant about this paper called Today, and what some of the things you remember, Jim, on this day 47 years ago.
Sure, buddy. To begin with, it was almost an unheard of thing for newspapering. It was a clean slate. It was ground zero. We had no time to think about the implications of what that meant. We had to get a staff together, and we had to get features ordered from the different syndicates. And we even had to name the baby, which became Today with a satellite ring around the O to denote the space age. And we had a visionary for a publisher, owner, whatever you want to call him, but he was the chief honcho in Rochester, the head of the Gannett Company. and he had been with me some years before that when I was state editor at the Miami Herald, and he was the assistant managing editor. He went up with me to Cape Kennedy, and while we were in Cocoa Beach one night, a Redstone missile lifted off the pad, and the ground shook, and the thing ascended into the heavens, trailing a red fiery tail. And Newhart told me later that that's when he got the idea that that area needed its own space-age newspaper. That's how the idea was born with him.
And, of course, that was an area, I remember the research that was done. There were a lot of young people who were making a lot of money out of college as engineers, space engineers, rolling around in Corvettes and expensive cars, and the astronauts were frolicking on Cocoa Beach. And it was a lively time and a whole new culture there for Cocoa Beach when it happened. So you and Newhart came and started this together. And I remember that I'll let you have the rest of the time here, but I just remember there were 6 weeks of delivering a paper every day or every other day just for practice.
2 weeks, buddy.
2 weeks of practicing throwing the paper out there. And
delivering we did 2 weeks of delivery, but actually I got there this first week in February, and we started March 21st, which is today, and that was also Newhart's birthday, which is no surprise to anyone that we started that day, I guess.
Al's 89 years old today, right?
89 today, yeah.
And so
still, with all of his faculties intact so far as I can discern, I don't hear from him much anymore, but that's understandable. We're both geezers now. We have our own little rickety lives to lead. He's in much better physical shape than I am, by the way. I'm 2 years younger than he, but I sure as hell feel 2 years older than he is.
He was always a jogger. He was out there jogging all the time. He was ahead of his time.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, Jim,
yes, he was.
Let me get this in real
always
fast.
In good physical shape.
Let me get this in real fast to you before we run out of time. Give me your other couple of points of things that you were significant about today newspaper for you the time you were there.
Staffing was a horrendous problem, but it was also a blessing because we could pick and choose, and people heard on the newspaper grapevine all over the country that this was happening, and we could pick and choose pretty much what we wanted in the way of a staff and photography and features and hard news and copy desk, everything you can think about. But I've already mentioned naming the baby today. Newhart did that. I asked him one time what should be the guiding principle, the philosophy of the newspaper, which was a tough question to ask anyone, but if anyone could answer, it would be that man. And he said this. He said, "I can only tell you to observe the laws of libel and the bounds of good taste." And I thought, my God, what a statement that is. It's both simple and complex at the same time.
And quite a ride it was. It was called Camelot for a reason, because I think a lot of people there will always remember the days as young journalists. It changed the culture of newspapers. Gannett became a large chain. It was the glory days of newspapering for the next 40-something years, and many people from that newspaper went on to become successful in other things and other jobs, including yourself. And it was just, I think, a special memory. Maybe onto this sort of one little band of brothers and sisters, but it will be and always shall be Camelot to us.
That's what it was. That's what we likened it to. Of course, Kennedy had second claim on that after King Arthur and the Round Table, but we weren't far behind in picking up. Newspaper people are great at stealing from others, whether it's stories or headlines, and that's part of what we did there. The Camelot tag was one that we thought might have applied a little bit to us anyway.
It was certainly appropriate, I think.
I think it did.
Mm-hmm. Jim, we're out of time. Thank you. Happy birthday for you, by the way. And also happy birthday to Today Newspaper, 47 years old today, and thanks for including me in it. I appreciate it.
Buddy, thank you for having me.
All right, thank you. Jim Head, former executive editor of Today. Laura, you were there as a small child. You don't remember a lot of it because you were like 4 years old, 3 years old, whatever it was. Yeah, 3 years old. Well, you were 3 years old when we first went there. What do you remember? Anything at all about it?
Not really.
Let's turn your mic up.
No, I mean, I remember going out and watching a couple of the space shots, and I remember our maid thought that it was all fake. That was pretty funny. I can remember her ironing some clothes and looking at one of the rockets taking off on the television and saying, "You don't believe that, do you?"
Well, Tom Schmidt still doesn't believe it.
Right,
So there you go.
Right, that's what I remember.
So you brought goodies today. I see somebody says raisin rosemary
Oh,
crisp.
well, that's part of my healthy living segment. So we're going to do healthy living first or pop culture
Whatever you
first?
want. It's your show.
Oh, I always like to do business first. So
Okay,
let's
because
do healthy
JJ's
living.
salivating at this food over, I can tell.
Well, transitioning out of your walk down memory lane with Mr. Head, which I'm sure is very poignant and emotional for you. I just did a blog post, actually. You can go to LoriGregory.com, Lori Gregory.com if you're driving and you want to take a look at this later. But I have made a big, it's not a discovery that I've made, but I've made a big shift in how I perceive dairy products and what I can do to actually nourish my family with healthy dairy products. So there's a big difference, as I've learned the hard way, between commercial dairy and cultured dairy products that you culture yourself. Unfortunately, even the products on the market that are commercial that claim to have probiotics that are good for you have so much other junk in them and are made from stripped down milk and stripped down dairy products. So all the enzymes are gone, all the natural components for nourishing your body are just gone. So it's a wonder that we have all these superbugs running around and we have antibiotic resistant bacteria in our culture and in our hospitals and all around.
But you're telling us, always told us that dairy is bad for it,
Well,
but yet you're telling us now
commercial dairy
this
is bad
okay.
for you. Commercial dairy is bad for you. But what I've realized is if you are willing to do a little bit of work, it's not difficult at all. But if you're willing to open up to the concept of culturing your own dairy products, it's a whole different experience. It feels good, it tastes good, it's just win-win. So what that means is not using commercial dairy, not using commercialized milk. And by the way, skim milk is the worst. So
See, I would think that to be the opposite.
I know, but all the enzymes, all the good stuff has been stripped out of it. You look at it and it looks like water. And your body can't process it at all because any nutritional enzymatic value has been completely removed. The good bacteria that live in the dairy gets killed in the pasteurizing and the homogenizing process. And when you do skim, you're taking out even more of the good stuff. So if you're willing to find a source, a local source for raw milk, you can get yourself some kefir grains. They're not actually grains, they're actually little globules of healthy yeast and bacteria that have a symbiotic relationship, that work together, that grow and culture and put good bacteria back into the milk, and then it becomes kefir. Kefir is the king culture. I've brought some for all you guys to taste because this is actually kefir that I made with cream. So this is kefir cream that's become like a cream cheese. You can taste it on the straw. Here is a sample. So remember, this is not only taste yummy, but this is really, really good for you because it has all the good stuff in it that you wouldn't find anywhere else.
Tastes like butter.
It tastes like cream cheese, kind of. It's like a cream cheese whipped cream kind of thing.
You can use it for butter, though.
You can use it for a whole bunch of stuff. I brought these yummy little crackers to try it on crackers because it's even better.
You went all the way to Trader Joe's to get those crackers.
I did. These are the best crackers from Trader Joe's. So, you can eat it just like that, or you can use it as like a cream topping in soup. Or
really good with those crackers.
Right, on millet. Oh, these crackers are the bomb. Give that to JJ. So, listen, I suffered relentlessly for decades eating commercialized wheat and commercialized dairy. And by switching to sourdough breads that are also cultures and switching to cultured dairy, not only am I putting good stuff in, not only does it taste good, but it actually builds your immune system. So you feel good, you're feeding your body healthy fats, which are really important, by the way, tons of antioxidants, tons of health benefits, and you're also not putting in the garbage. So It's so easy to do. If you'll just take my word for it, go to LoriGregory.com, look at my blog post from today about healthy dairy, and I have all the links of where you can get your kefir grains, how you can do it. It's really easy.
Let's ask the guys how they liked it.
Why are you closing it back up?
What do you think? How does it taste?
It tastes like cream cheese.
Right.
And when you put it on the rosemary cracker with the raisin, it's
Right.
fabulous.
It's fabulous, right? You could just eat that.
You could.
So
I'm always looking with my new diet from what I'm doing with Kinetic Motion Fitness. I still am a sweets guy. You love chocolate.
I love sweets.
You're a big sweet fan too.
Right.
This is a great alternative. To
Yeah.
that. Like right now, my kick right now is I'm eating red grapefruit, little pieces of red grapefruit, pink grapefruit, and little pieces of mangoes that you can buy in the produce section.
Right.
That are in water. They're not in. You can find them in water, not in syrup.
So cook yourself some millet, take that fruit, mix it in with the millet, and put a dollop of this on top. You will just be in
I had
heaven.
it for breakfast yesterday at Laurie's house.
It's so good. And the kefir, so if you take raw milk, which you can actually get from Full Circle Farms, they make a delivery every other Thursday. I picked up my raw cheese today that is outstanding. I picked up some raw milk. You can take the kefir culture, which you get for culturesforhealth.com. You put the culture in 2 cups of the raw milk, and in 24 hours you have kefir, which is like a liquid yogurt.
Right.
You've now put all the good bacteria back into the whole raw milk, which hasn't been stripped of all its good stuff. And you have a whole nother experience.
JJ, how'd you like it? I like, by the way, while he's turning his mic on.
It was good.
I thought it was
the
tasty.
cracker was really good.
The cracker was excellent with it.
Yeah,
The other
these
was like
crackers are
eating
great.
cream cheese or butter, whatever.
Yeah.
But the cracker was delicious.
Right, right. So if you're willing to rethink your food just a little bit and put a little bit of effort into consciously creating foods that are nutritious. So now, when you eat or drink dairy products that have all that stuff stripped out, you're going to feed the bad bugs. You're going to feed the bad superbugs. You're going to create mucus in your body, which helps all these bad bacteria, viruses, parasites stick to the lining of your intestines. When you eat this good stuff, you're actually putting good bacteria into your system. One good bacteria will take out 200 bad ones.
It's kind of like when you put Red X in your pipes at home to help out your drain fills and your septic tank. You're talking about doing that where you get good bacteria to eat away.
But it's tasty.
Right, but
it's
exactly.
good. It tastes good.
Speaking of tasty, I'm going to see our friends Saturday.
Oh, you're going to get your spiraler?
No, I'm not getting my spiraler. I'm going to see our friends at Sugar Tree.
You are?
I'm going Saturday.
Oh,
I ran
my
into them
gosh.
last night, and so I'm going
Get some
Saturday.
of those yummy strawberries. They have the
They're
most
huge.
gorgeous strawberries, and if you make some of this yummy kefir, I actually bought...
Dip the strawberries in
yes.
there? Ooh.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's going to make this stuff? How's he
So
gonna
easy.
Make this stuff?
Look.
It's so easy.
I'll figure out a way to talk Lori into making it for me.
Oh, no.
Well, we can talk.
She can make it for me, not make it for
Let me
you.
tell you something. She's tried to make stuff for you, pal.
Hey.
You just won't get on the health kick.
Money talks. Money talks. I have a price.
Exactly.
You know what? There's nothing worse than a reformed drunk and a reformed food addict.
Oh, I'm still a food addict. I'm not a reformed food addict. I'm just eating different food now.
And he's still a drunk, too.
Oh.
Yeah, let's clear that up.
All the more reason to eat some cultured dairy because, alcohol turns to sugar. It's going to feed the bad guys. And you want to have some good bacteria in your
Well, that's
system.
very tasty. So for those who want to make that stuff.
Yeah, really easy. Go to culturesforhealth.com. For about $9, they'll ship you a packet in the mail of freeze-dried kefir. You rehydrate it in water. There's instructions right in there. It takes about 24 hours. Then you can get some raw milk. There's raw, organic, grass-fed milk delivered to Ocala every other Thursday. Contact Dennis at Full Circle Farms. Just Google Full Circle Farms. They're in Live Oak. You can get yourself a gallon of this milk, and then you can make the kefir really inexpensively.
Yeah, but how much does a gallon of milk cost? Like $15?
It's expensive.
It's expensive, but you don't need as much. Because what we'll do is I will culture a quart of kefir at a time, and for dessert at night, for a late night treat when Gary and I are watching a movie, I take pistachios, put it in the bottom of a dish, drizzle some fresh honey, and put like a half a cup of this kefir that's almost like a pudding. It gets so thick. It's delicious.
JJ rather go to Sonic and get a burger and fries.
Yeah, 'cause I can
JJ's in his 20s.
I can see this on celery sticks
anything.
Because I eat a lot of peanut butter and celery sticks and cream cheese and celery sticks.
Once you get your kefir grains active, you can just keep using them and using them and use them. And this, I bought a pint of heavy organic whipping cream from Publix, and I used my kefir grains for this. Now I wouldn't make this. This makes a creamy cheese. It's really hard to get fresh raw cream. I'll be able to get it in the summer. So I did this as an experiment. But for the kefir grains to make the drinkable kefir, you really need the raw milk. Wow. Full Circle Farms is your best
That's pretty
bet.
good what you got in that dish right there.
Very good. We'll take a break, come back, we'll talk more about, well, maybe a little more food talk, and we'll talk about your Jimmy Fallon story. Well,
yeah, maybe I need to have, well, it's not mine.
Stay tuned to the Voice of Ocala right here on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Recently, I had a great conversation with General Manager Pat Murray on the special events at Country Club of Ocala.
We have a lot of events, special events here that are geared towards the family. Easter comes to mind. We have an Easter bunny who hops around on the driving range, and we usually hide somewhere in a neighborhood of 3,000 eggs and turn them loose and let them go harvest the eggs. We have a great family celebration here on the 4th of July where it's a traditional cookout, if you will, and as the sun goes down, the driving range becomes alive with probably one of the better fireworks displays in the area. Breakfast with Santa is a big deal.
Country Club of Ocala, where the Easter Bunny, Santa, and all the children, large and small, are a big deal on every special occasion. For more information, call 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of the Monday Gator Report right here on The Source.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day. Whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands, at Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing.
This is Don with ABC Fredericks Appliance. Here's my daughter, Lena.
And hey everybody, it's Lena. You need to come down to ABC Fredericks Appliance on County Road 25, just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue, where you are treated right with the right products like Whirlpool, Maytag, Crosley, and Speed Queen. These are the new ones. Don't forget, we also carry used appliances that we warranty. ABC Fredericks Appliance does repairs too. Call us at 629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance on County Road 25, just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue. It's at 629-5181.
Black Cow, the mature manure Black Cow.
With all the hard work you put into your lawn and garden, it just makes good sense to use the best products you can buy, like Black Cow composted cow manure. Use it with new landscape plants and trees, flower beds, and vegetable gardens, or use it as a top dressing for your lawn. Black Cow is organic, all natural. Look for the bright yellow and black bag.
Black Cow, the mature manure Black Cow.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Married men are more likely to keep up with routine doctor's visits than bachelors. Their cancer was detected earlier, so they were 35% more likely to survive. The longer we commute, the more stress we have in our bodies, the higher our body mass index, and the more strain it puts on our relationships. People learn more effectively when they break up their lessons over several short sessions rather than one long cramming marathon.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
You're listening to WOCA, Ocala.
Night with Jimmy Fallon. I love you too. Before we get started, I have to talk about the rumors that came out today, which says that I'll be moving up to 11:30, or as my parents call it, it's still too late. Actually, the rumors are true. NBC is turning the Tonight Show into a diving competition. So exciting. You guys hear about this diving show, Splash? Last night, 9 million people watched it with me.
I actually saw the first 10 minutes of the diving show because I was actually waiting for my show to tape.
Where Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did his backflip.
I didn't get that far. I couldn't stay with it that long.
I just saw it in passing.
I wanted to see the first 10 minutes. And I thought, okay, I've seen that. So that'll be that for the Splash.
Yeah.
All right, so this whole thing has been rumored for quite some time about Leno. And, and many people feel like he's getting his just desserts after what he did to Conan O'Brien. This has been brewing for a while now. I mean, there have been several stories about the friction. The head of the network and didn't like some of Leno's comedy and called him on it, which is something they've always had freedom to do, the expression of their comedy. But that clearly would send a message that there was trouble brewing. So what are your thoughts about it?
I just would like to go on record once again as saying that Fallon's year was coming. I think it was this year or last year I said that it was time. He was really about to break out. And I just have enjoyed him so much the past year and a half. I think he's really gotten into his groove, and he reminds me of Carson a little bit. He can be edgy in the right spots, but very generic and appealing to some of the older folks at the same time. He just kind of has that combo.
He's very that if you watch that's why I DVR Fallon every night, because he does remind me of Johnny Carson.
Doesn't he remind you of Carson?
Because he has a serious side, but he still, where he does his thank you notes. That reminds me of like Saranac, the great.
Sure.
Because he does the thank you notes, and the thank you notes are very well done. And he interacts. Remember how Johnny Carson remember the famous clip, buddy, where Johnny Carson goes and the leopard jumps at him and he goes running and jumps in Ed McMahon's arms? Jimmy Fallon would do something like that.
Yeah, he's got that sort of Midwestern sensibility.
Jay Leno hasn't done. Jay Leno did not carry on that tradition. He did the monologue, and then he did the interviews. But there was like the whole jaywalking thing and the playing the Jeopardy with dumb people and everything. It's never clicked. I don't think.
Well, one of the things I know is I can tell you that Debbie Vickers is producer of that program. She's been for years. She's connected with the Vickers family that I used to work for in Colorado. So I'd occasionally see them, she and her husband. And one of the things her husband was sort of poking fun at them when they built this expensive set for Conan. I mean, it was like millions of dollars they spent. And it lasted, 6 months, whatever it was, and then he was gone. They brought Leno back. And what I know about that, what I think I know is that Leno was always a little bit soft, but they also coached him up to have an edge. So he's got this edge, and sometimes, he goes into, he goes into a little bit of a slightly, shall we say, not blue, but a little edgy comedy that sometimes, let's just say it's suitable for late night, but not earlier. And to me, that's not Leno. He really doesn't want to do that, but it's what he's had to do to maintain his position.
I don't know. I think he's always done that. I remember when he used to come on late night with David Letterman, when Letterman was in the 12:30 slot, and Leno would come on with a sandwich, and he would sit there and eat his sandwich, and he would have a beef, and he would just have something that he wanted to complain about. And he had that sort of, I'm a comic on the circuit, doing the edgy comedy stuff, but I've never completely warmed up to him, and I've tried. I always wanted to like him, and I didn't think that Conan's interesting, whatever, he's Conan, but it's sort of like strawberry or vanilla. You know, they're two different flavors. Neither one of them were my favorite. But Jimmy, I think, brings back some of that Midwestern sort of boyish charm that Carson had. He's got a killer band that's really incredible. He works well with his guests, and he has more of a genuine quality, but he also is a little quirky sometimes. So he's more of a balanced late night host. I think he would do really well.
He has a connection with his band, The Roots, the same way
so
Carson had with Doc Severinsen.
For sure.
They have that same kind of banter.
I mean,
Jay
Slow
Leno,
Jam the News is brilliant.
Right, Jay Leno's been through what? He's been through Wynton Marsalis, and then he went through. It's like his third or fourth band leader, and I think Fallon's a natural fit. And hurry, NBC, before it's too late.
And it's time. I mean, it really does feel like time.
Never liked Conan. Never liked him. I know you did. Tired of Leno. Letterman's really needs to think about hanging it up soon.
Yeah.
And Fallon, I like fine. I just haven't watched much of it. It's time to move on, though. I think the late night scene is shifting.
You're a big Jimmy Kimmel fan, aren't you, buddy?
No, I'm not. But I don't dislike him. And I've actually started DVRing some of his shows and watched them. And the one where he had
when he did the night of the Academy Awards?
No, he held hostage.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon
Yeah.
hostage.
Yeah,
that was funny.
Yeah.
Of course, he also had like 9 killer guests that night too.
Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman.
But the thing is, like you said, buddy, if you listen to the younger crowd, JJ's age group,
he doesn't watch any of
that. What do you think, JJ?
The late shows aren't what they watch.
He's
they
watching
watch
Bravo.
No. JJ watches Jon Stewart
Adult
and Stephen
Swim.
Colbert.
Well, I don't really watch any of those guys. I
your
watch,
age group does.
Seinfeld and Family Guy and
Adult
Simpsons
Swim.
And,
But your age group watches Colbert and Jon
But
Stewart.
JJ's not like his age group and everything.
But
He's a little bit
Col-
more mature.
Colbert and Jon Stewart's show is way better than all the
Jon
NBC
Stewart's amazing.
and CBS.
We DVR Jon
Those
Stewart.
two shows have taken place in the late night show.
I watch it sometimes, occasionally.
But
I'm not a late night show watcher, period.
Right,
so
but the comment is that this is a pretty big story. I mean, it was in the New York Times on Wednesday, and they said, according to the Times piece, insider top executives at NBC say it's a done deal, and they'll be moving the show to New York. They're going to take it back to the 30 Rock location.
That was on NBC last night.
I mean,
Brian Williams
that's
reported.
huge. So, and it might be because Kimmel's now 11:30. Maybe NBC saying
he's turning up the heat.
We're going to go head to head with
ABC
Kimmel.
has been a big move with their Good Morning America show, which is
Absolutely.
just
killing them.
Killing them and killing
And
Today's
NBC doesn't wait till Kimmel gets too much traction,
NBC
and
has
then
gotta
they've
make a
lost
move
too much of that audience. They
I
got
don't
to
know
do
if
it
I
now.
agree with moving it from the West Coast. It's a West Coast show.
I kind of agree with you on that.
It's Johnny Carson was on the West Coast. It's a West Coast show. But the problem is, all of us that were in love with Carson want the next host or any of the hosts that host the Tonight Show
to pick up that mantle.
To pick up where Carson left off.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, that's not. I want it to happen.
Well,
but
there's a
let's be
slot
realistic.
open now. Don't forget.
Yeah,
They could
they'll
go
probably do a 12:30
West Coast show.
Right. Yeah.
With somebody else. It'll be interesting who they pick for that slot.
And originally when Carson and the Tonight Show was originally launched, Hollywood was really the epicenter for the big stars and getting all the guests. Now, when there's any kind of promotional junket, everybody does both. They do L.A., New York. So that's not going to preclude them from getting.
How
good
about
guests
Wayne
at
Brady
all.
on the late night show?
He's great. I think Wayne Brady is
so
talented, smart.
Unbelievably talented.
He's whip smart.
Such
yeah, I like him.
A jerk.
Well, he may be so, but he's a very talented.
He's very smart.
I've dealt with him on 3 or 4 occasions in Orlando, and he is a huge jerk.
Well, that's to you. To me, he'd be a nice guy.
No. He literally said at a karaoke bar that he went into so he could sing when people didn't clap for him because they thought he didn't do a very good job. He said, well, what do you damn rednecks know anyway?
Well, he's a funny guy. He's a super talented
is,
guy. He can sing, he can dance, he can do comedy. He is hilarious.
He puts on a great. His persona is very good.
His problem is he'd be a better guest than a host because he's such a talented guy. So, all right, let's. Laurie, anything else before we close it up here?
Saw Oz. Definitely recommend seeing Oz if you can. I think it's still at the Marion Theater. Very well done film. It was much better than I expected. James Franco did a nice job. It definitely had that classic. Had that classic, timeless feel to it, where you could see, okay, I can see my grandchildren watching this film. So it really picked up nicely the legacy of the original Wizard of Oz, and it was nice to kind of see the backstory. For those you don't know, it's the prequel to the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, I thought it was like Dr. Oz.
No.
Okay. Well,
Who's being sued right now, by the way? Dr. Oz.
Of course.
No, this is not Dr. Oz. This is the prequel to The Wizard of Oz, and it's a very well done film. So
we thought about using that name for this show. Wizard of Oz.
I thought this was going to be. Oh, you were going to be the wizard?
So
I didn't say that.
Oh, Tom's the wizard. JJ's really the wizard.
The Wonderful Oz explains the man behind the green curtain.
Right, and how he became Oz.
Well, there you
go. All right, we're out of time, folks. Thanks, Laurie. Good job. Love the. What do you call it again?
Kefir. Get yourself some kefir.
Kefir Sullivan.
Get some kefir grains and start making yourself some home cultured dairy. It is well worth it.
I'll call it 24. I'll
Full Circle Farms. You can get your raw milk. It's really, really worth it.
And then you get cool milk bottles like that to drink water out of.
That's right. And if you have any questions, email me. LaurieGregory.com is my blog. I'd be happy to give you more information.
All right, Laurie, thank you. We'll take a quick break, come back. We've got tweets and quotes, and hour 2 is done. Stay tuned for lots of stuff in sports. JJ will update you completely on all the tournament results. Stay tuned to the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today. Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Zandra Sunny Moon, a survivor of rape, unlawful imprisonment, mental and emotional abuse, and divorce. She's also a truck driver and an inspirational counselor for women, and she's written a book. It's called The Power of the Tights.
No, you're pronouncing it wrong. Go ahead.
The Power of the Teats.
Yes, teats. And then open for debate, where you get to choose the topic.
And then Josh Verdonk and Brad Brisma will be on with Winging It, telling about airplanes.
And then John Sotomayor, executive editor of Ocala Magazine with Ocala Magazine Radio.
Barbara A. Trotline will be on. She's a change leadership consultant and an inspirational speaker. She's written a book called Change Intelligence. Use your power to lead change.
Dr. Norman Straker is a consultant at the Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. He's written a book called Facing Cancer and the Fear of Death.
All of that plus fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live, right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local medical people have done and are currently doing, WinStar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. WinStar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. WinStar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
All the things I feel, you've given me so much. Girl, you're so unreal still. I keep loving you more and more each time. Girl, what am I gonna do? 'Cause you're blowing my mind.
All right, final couple minutes. It's every now and then I get these factoids that really just absolutely slay me. That I had no idea that Starbucks pays more for employee insurance than it does for the cost of employees. Imagine that, Starbucks. Incredible.
I have a very
I'm
good...
sorry, that's not right. It paid more for employee insurance than it does for coffee. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a very good friend of mine that has applied for a job and was told it's a part-time job only now because the insurance costs so much that they can't afford to have full-time employees.
Yeah.
So
more than their coffee.
Right.
So. All right, let's go to tweets and quotes, JJ, so we can catch that up today. We've got a couple minutes to go. This guy, Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N, not Jim Rome, keeps popping up with some pretty good stuff. Apparently, he's really big in the sales aspect of things, but he says, and I really think this is really good, without a sense of urgency, desire loses its value. So true. Sometimes people don't get a sense of urgency about things. It drives me crazy. Especially when I'm standing in line at a store and waiting for somebody to wait on me and they have no idea or could care less whether they will help. Anyway, Mark Twain's always good for one. A cat is more intelligent than people believe and can be taught any crime. you laugh because you got a cat. You know it's true.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah. And here's a little philosophy from, of all things, an old name in showbiz, Charlie Chaplin. Wouldn't expect Charlie to have something like this, but life is a tragedy when seen in close-up, but a comedy in long shots. Life is a little bit funny when you stop and think about it and push back. Not funny when it's happening to you at the time, but when you can push back and think about some of the things that do go on. Were you the one who said to me, some TV show, you said The Good Wife was comedy, didn't you?
No.
Didn't you say it to me? Who said that to me? Was it Tom James? Somebody said.
Wasn't me.
Somebody thinks. And I thought comedy. I don't think so.
No, wasn't me. You know, that's one of my favorite shows.
I know, but I mean, he thought it was funny. He thought it had humor in it. So I didn't get that.
I don't see any. I mean, the way Eli Gold treats people at times, I snicker, but that's because I'm kind of that way.
You and Eli Gold kind of are the same kind of cut out of the same cloth.
We kind of are.
All right, coming up next on the Voice of Ocala, JJ updates you on all those tournament scores. Yeah, Pittsburgh killed us around here. We'll update you on that. We've got Talk to Ponies with Michael Compton. Lots more to talk about in sports right here on the Voice of Ocala, including CF tonight in the Elite Eight, trying to advance to the national semifinals. Stay tuned to the program and find out more about that. Plus, report from Keith Chartrand at Bay Hill right here on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Who never ever learned to read or write so well, but he could play a guitar just like a ring in a bell.
Are you looking for a trustworthy auto care company that won't sell you something you don't need? Look no further than Affordable Auto Air and Care. Affordable Auto Air and Care has serviced Ocala for a decade and is family owned and operated. They offer quality parts at affordable prices, and they even include a 1-year or 12,000-mile warranty on their parts and labor. Their certified technicians work on any type of vehicle, even RVs. They specialize in auto AC, but they also offer oil changes, brake service, filters, tune-ups, shocks, axles, complete auto repair. Affordable Auto Air and Care is located at 1841 Northwest 4th Avenue on the corner of Old Jacksonville Road and 441. Call 352-401-0011 to book an appointment. That's 352-401-0011. Affordable Auto Air and Care. Complete auto repair. Take it from me, Tom Schmitz. I'm a customer.
Need a car? Need financing? Need somebody to cut through the red tape and send you rolling down the highway? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Got great credit and just prefer a quality pre-owned car at a fair price from somebody you can trust? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Want to avoid high pressure to feel appreciated and be able to choose from a wide selection of AutoCheck and Carfax certified vehicles? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala and Bellevue. Prestige, it's all there in our name.
Hi, I'm Lisa Midget with Kinetic Motion Fitness, Ocala's premier small group and personal training fitness studio. Did you know you can achieve all your fitness goals, whether that's losing weight, getting fit, or training for a personal best, all with no membership fees? Have you ever been embarrassed or intimidated at a big gym because you're not a Greek god or a size 0 supermodel? Have you ever felt like your gym would rather you not even show up? At KMF, we have a team approach that focuses on small classes and personal training, and you'll feel like family, not just another number. No more boring treadmills or endless reps. Our classes are fun, energetic, and get you the results you want. And I should know, with the help of our great trainers, I lost over 100 pounds in 8 jean sizes, and I did it using no heavy equipment and no magic pills. Just fun and effective workouts. And yes, I did say fun. Come join us at KMF. Visit our website at kmfocala.com or like us on Facebook. Again, that was kmfocala.com.
In Clark, we trust.
Hi, this is Clark Howard. Join me every weeknight at 6, right here on WOCA 1370, The Source.
Right now, somewhere in the world, there is a bear waking up from a long winter's hibernation. Scientists are not 100% sure how a bear knows winter is over, but I think I may have an explanation. Here it is. Spring comes to Florida first, so Florida gardeners get that spring fever first and head over to Kenny's Place Nursery. They go to Kenny's Place for gazanias, impatiens, geraniums, and begonias, all for 99 cents each. They also head to Kenny's Place Nursery for pansies, selling for $4 for $1. Now, that is a honey of a deal. Well, the thought of the honey reminds those gardeners of the special role pollinators, like bees, have in the garden. Now, every bear knows that where there are bees, there is honey. So, their noses wiggle, their ears twitch, and boom, the bear wakes up. And all because of a great sale at Kenny's Place Nursery. Who knew? Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a honey of a deal at Kenny's Place.
Mark your calendars for Saturday, April 6th for the Francis Marion Military Academy Spring Fling at the Ocala Shrine Club on Camp Road. Join the first annual Swamp Fox Chili Cook-Off and Classic Car Show. Take a chance on winning one of 5 different late model vehicles for the unbelievably low price of just $20 per ticket. Only 5,000 tickets will be sold. The proceeds benefit the Francis Marion Military Academy. Businesses, organizations, and talented individuals are invited to show off their cooking skills and to compete for the best tasting chili. Go to swampfoxevents.com for the registration directions to the Shrine Club, Car Show, Chili Cook-Off. Join our sponsors in supporting the Academy. Remember, that's Saturday, April 6th for the Francis Marion Military Academy Spring Fling at the Ocala Shrine Club on Camp Road. The first annual Swamp Fox Chili Cook-Off and Classic Car Show. For more information, call Charlie at 843-7790. That's 843-7790. 843-7790. Or visit swampfoxevents.com.
WWWOCA, WWWOCA.
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
ABC News Now. I'm Daria Albinger. The same people who linked sugary drinks to obesity-related deaths now say lay off the salt shaker. Researchers at the Harvard School of Public Health say excessive salt intake contributed to about 1 in 10 deaths here in the U.S. in 2010. A mother from Newtown, Connecticut put it simply, our reality has become the unthinkable. She was part of a group of parents who lost children in the Sandy Hook Elementary Massacre and is calling for stronger gun laws along with Vice President Biden and New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg. Gun rights groups say it makes more sense to enforce laws now on the books. If you're looking for a home, you know there aren't many to buy. The National Association of Realtors says sales of existing homes jumped last month to a 3-year high. Happy birthday to Twitter. The microblogging site is now 7 years old, and it's come a long way since co-founder Jack Dorsey sent the first tweet. Today, 100,000 tweets are sent every minute. This is ABC News.
At Advance Auto Parts, we give you deals. And now, money. That's the Advance Advantage. Get a 5+ quarts jug, a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil, plus a K&N filter for just $29.99. Then, get a $10 Amex Rewards card by mail. It's like getting a full synthetic oil change for just $19.99. And that's pretty stinking good. That's the Advance Advantage. Only at Advance Auto Parts. See store for details. Mail-in rebate void where prohibited.
If you have gout and think a few attacks a year are all you have to worry about, think again. Fact is, gout can attack silently, even between flares. You may not feel it, but gout's root cause, high uric acid, can allow crystals to continuously form and build up in your joints. Over time, this may lead to attacks in other joints, constant pain, and joint destruction. So don't wait. Get more information at goutinfo.com and talk with your doctor about ways to keep your uric acid at a lower, healthy level.
How much time? 30 seconds. I'm on right now. I don't believe you.
Okay. Enough kidding around.
Ho, 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 ho.
And now it's time for the Buddy Martin Sports Page.
He actually had me stay here last night in his gym.
It's like I don't fit in. It's like I don't belong here.
Let's go talk to a couple of guys that never gamble.
Oh, see, I made Lewis a bet here. See, Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put you on the phone house at the same time. He didn't think we could do it.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
And now, here's Buddy.
All right, welcome to the program called Buddy Sports Page. Lots and lots of stuff going on in the world of sports. Some people think it's their favorite sports day of the year with all the things going on with the NCAA tournament, of course, kicking off today. JJ's got scores for you in just a moment. We got spring baseball happening, got spring football going on. The NBA, the Heat are a great story right now. Golf.
Arnold Palmer Invitation.
Yeah. Tiger Woods played okay, and we'll tell you who's leading in just a minute, Mr. Goff. Keith Shartown will check in with us momentarily. So there's a lot of I think it's between October and March for me. But starting March is a great month to have it going on. Let's go right to the scores. And could you skip that one, JJ, that we know about that killed us? Just go over that one. Let's talk about it.
We'll go to it.
All right.
Michigan State started the day. They beat Valpo by 12, but they were up by a lot more than that. Butler beat Bucknell. That was a close game throughout most. Pittsburgh lost to
Impressed, by the way, with
State.
Butler. I thought Butler looks very good.
Yeah, Butler's got a little good squad. Pittsburgh lost by almost 20 points to Wichita State.
Crushed by Wichita State.
St. Louis won by 20 against New Mexico State, and Memphis just barely won by 2
what
against
happened?
St.
They were up,
Mary's.
and if St. Mary's makes that shot, they win the game.
3 with like 1.9 seconds left.
Can I give you a bracket alert to watch for?
Well, it's all the scores.
Well, no. Davidson and Marquette are still playing. Davidson's up by 2 in the second half.
With 11 minutes to go in the second half.
Southern and Gonzaga are early, 13-14, and Oregon and Oklahoma State 11-12 early in the game.
Well, Southern and Gonzaga are 14-13. Gonzaga's up by 1 point halfway through the first quarter, first half. Actually now Gonzaga's losing 16-14. Halfway at the 10, right around the 10-minute mark.
Anything. Davison and Marquette are 38. It's like today in the Butler Bucknell game, your Bucknell team. They went up by 7, and they were,
in the second half.
Yeah, second half. They were up in like 6, 7, 8 minutes in, or maybe even 10. And Butler never lost his composure.
No,
they came back. They made a stop. Made a great stop. Went down, got a foul shot, made them. But that's the key. They make their foul shots. Come back. Make another stop, and then their big shooter, Rodney. What's his last name?
White.
No. Their guy transfers from Arkansas. I'll tell you in a minute. Anyway, he made the 3-point shot. Terrible for the day. Rodney Clark, and it is not Rodney. It's Rotney. Rotnei. Rodney Clark, who played for Arkansas, could really light it up. I saw him play at Gainesville a couple years ago. He finally made the key shot, and now they went from being 7 down to they're gliding. They got home and won impressively. So that's the kind of team that you like to watch play. They're so efficient at what they do. They don't turn the ball over in crunch time. They make their foul shots. They make good passes. They play good defense. They make stops. That's the kind of thing. That's the kind of Final Four team that you like their chances on. I don't say Butler gets to the Final Four. I'm just saying I think there are teams that they played like that. Hello, Florida Gators might have a chance. All right, what about news today? I know we got a little football news.
For sure, some big football news. Brian Urlacher will not be back with the Bears.
Let's talk about that for a second.
All right.
Did you hear his comment on Sirius yesterday? He said, they offered, I would have wanted 2 years at between $10 and $12 million, and they told me 1 year, $2 million, take it or leave it. He said, I will not be playing for the Bears. He said, I will not play for $2 million next year. Not for the Bears, anyway.
Well, he said the Bears kept saying, we want to make Brian a Bear, retire a Bear, blah, blah, blah. It was all lip service in my mind. They said that, but they never acted on it. It was like they all had a handbook on how to handle the situation. They passed out around
They brought in a new GM to make the tough decisions with no emotional attachment. And this is a tough one. Because Urlacher's been a fantastic football player for the Bears. He is. When you think of Urlacher, you think of Ditka, you think of the the great players that were there. But you know what happens to these guys? They play with such intensity. When it goes, it all goes. It just all goes. And I think he basically is about, 65 or 70% where he was. What do you do if you're the Bears? It doesn't go down well with the fans in Chicago who love their Bears and love Urlacher. But I expect him to show up in Green Bay or someplace next year.
Well, he said Minnesota.
Green Bay or Minnesota.
Minnesota's the leading candidate.
Of course, why wouldn't you? You take a guy like that, and he might win a game for you, So in that division. What else you got, JJ?
Another big defensive player in the NFL switching teams. Bernard Pollard joined the Tennessee Titans in a 1-year deal today. Leading tackler for the Ravens last year. And the World Baseball Classic shows why us Americans don't like it.
Just don't care about that.
Yeah, because Hanley Ramirez needs thumb surgery now, the Dodgers shortstop, and will be out 8 weeks. And Americans care about their club baseball teams, not World Baseball Classic. So Dodgers fans more worried about that than they were
and
about
did you see the
US.
play? He dove after a ball and jammed his right thumb into the ground and had to have surgery. JJ and I talked about this on Buddy Saturday Sports page. I don't care what the USA does in the World Baseball Classic. I want to make sure that the guys that wear Braves uniforms that are on any team in the Baseball Classic don't get hurt so they can show up in Braves uniforms. It's kind of like I don't know if this is correct, JJ. Can you liken it to, do some of the club teams fans in Europe get upset with the World Cup, or do they still like the World Cup?
No, everybody likes the World Cup.
They still like the World Cup? Because I wouldn't want Messi.
Yeah, but the World Cup is the game. That's it. This World Baseball Classic's nothing.
Yeah, that's
the World Cup is the World Series of soccer.
Forever,
right.
Right, but the World Cup started somewhere, and the World Baseball Classic is trying to be that for baseball.
Got no shot.
But because nobody wants. If soccer started doing the World Cup right now, club teams would be like, no, I want Messi to be on my club team. I don't want him playing for some country.
The reason baseball can't be that is baseball doesn't evoke emotion like that. And it doesn't, if you're in a city and you're there every night and you watch your team, it's a Red Sox-Yankees series and you're a big fan, yeah. But you're not going to get too terribly. Look at the Braves. The Braves historically have not had great attendance, as you remember.
Right.
And, certainly not in Tampa. It's not in Miami. So there's not that emotion. So you're never going to have – it's not the equivalent of the Georgia Tech football game,
Could it 30 years ago, 40 years ago, in the golden heyday of baseball, could something like this have worked?
No.
Because baseball wasn't a world sport then either.
No, it wasn't a world sport, but it was a national pastime.
It was still a sport.
I'm saying that the World Baseball Classic obviously wouldn't work 30 years ago.
No, but the World Baseball 30 years ago, baseball was still an international sport. It just was there was three huge areas: the Asian area, and then South America and North America. That was it.
Yeah, well, certainly.
South American baseball has been huge for numbers of years.
The Caribbean's been around with producing baseball players for a long time, obviously great ones. So there's a lot of players, obviously, from down there.
Asia's catching up.
Yeah. So anyway, so much for that. Anything else, JJ? That's it.
That's it.
All right. Tonight we'll be watching.
Well, in the Heat last night.
Well, let's talk about
comeback.
it. Let's talk about it. Well, we'll take a break and come back. We'll talk about it. How incredible was that last night? You're going to Cleveland, where they were burning LeBron's jerseys, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And hate him. He goes back there, and who destroys them? 27-point deficit to come back and kill, just absolutely annihilate this team.
In the second half.
In the second half. I mean, unbelievable performance. And here again, the Heat still rolling. How great is this team? I don't know. They'll put them up there pretty soon as one of the greats of all time. We'll take a break, come back, have that discussion. We'll hear from Keith Chartrand at some point. And also, we're going to talk some ponies. Good news for Tom. One of the horses he liked early on is back in the picture again. We'll tell you who that is, too. So stay tuned to Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports, from NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly Are You Kidding Me rant? So join me and JJ LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Relations got you down. Are you at your wit's end? Does the opposite sex just confuse you? Then I've got the solution for you, Dr. Buddy.
Well, let me just tell you what you slugs are doing wrong. Remember, dummy, it's about the chase and the romantic interludes, okay? Now, here's the difference. Instead of dinner and a movie, which seems obsolete these days, they have this random phone text, Facebook post, instant message, and quote-unquote non-dates. Traditional courtship, which is still what women want, guys. Picking up a telephone, asking someone on a date, maybe even going as far to pick them up in your car, requires courage, strategic planning, and a considerable investment in ego.
So now you know where to tune in to get all your relationship advice. It's the Dr. Buddy Show every Monday on the Voice of Ocala. You can succeed only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Zandra Sunny Moon, a survivor of rape, unlawful imprisonment, mental and emotional abuse, and divorce. She's also a truck driver and an inspirational counselor for women, and she's written a book. It's called The Power of the Tights.
No, you're pronouncing it wrong.
Go ahead. The Power of the Teats.
Yes, teats. And then open for debate, where you get to choose the topic.
And then Josh Verdonk and Brad Brismo will be on with Winging It, telling about airplanes.
And then John Sotomayor, executive editor of Ocala Magazine with Ocala Magazine Radio.
Barbara A. Trotline will be on. She's a change leadership consultant and an inspirational speaker. She's written a book called Change Intelligence. Use your power to lead change.
Dr. Norman Straker is a consultant at the Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. He's written a book called Facing Cancer and the Fear of Death.
All of that plus fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
In Clark, we trust.
Hi, this is Clark Howard. I'm so excited to be on in Ocala, where I visit twice a year because I have relatives in Ocala, and it's great that my show is on every evening at 6 p.m. right here on WOCA, The Source.
WOCA,
to keep you.
Dr. Buddy's back.
Dr. Buddy maybe at the golf course.
Yeah, we got Dr. Keith Chartrand down in Orlando. He's there at Bay Hill, where today the story is unfortunately not about Ted Potter. It is a story, but unfortunately not a good one. Let's go live to Keith Chartrand now at Bay Hill and check on how's our boy doing down there, Teddy Potter Jr.
Well, unfortunately, guys, short game is eluding him today. Through 14 holes, he's standing on the 15th green now. Through 14 holes, Ted is 4 over par. He's got 2 bogeys on the front. He bogeyed the first, bogeyed the 9th. And then on the back 9, I'm picking him up. Unfortunately, he had a wayward drive on 11. That forced him to have to chip out. And he's unfortunately inside of 100 yards. He hasn't been getting them close enough to have any opportunities. You know, and a couple of times on 10, he had a very short birdie attempt and missed it. And on the par 5 12th, I mean, you need to hit 2 rockets to get on there in 2. And he hit 2 great shots, but unfortunately his third shot from about 80 yards out, he got it to about 15 feet. You'd hope to get it closer, and that one just missed as well. So, and then all the golfers out there know the worst thing that can happen to you when you putt is when you get one of those horseshoes where it goes half in, but then it comes right back at you. On the par 4, 14th hole, which plays 215, Teddy tee shot found the back right bunker. He had a great sand shot out of there, hit it to about 7 feet. And the dreaded horseshoe, it looked like it was half in and came back out. And so right now where he stands, he did make a par on 15. Yes, he did make a par on 15. So he's 4 over on the day. He's got 16 to play, which is a short par 5. So hopefully he can get a stroke back there. 17's a par 3, which is very difficult, and we know about the legendary 18th hole with the pond that basically surrounds the green. So Teddy's got a little work to do. Hopefully he can get one back here on 16, and again, he's +4 through 15 holes.
All right, appreciate that. And sounds like he's having lots of problems. You got to bring it back tomorrow. He'll be back in Ocala if he doesn't. So, any thoughts about Rose and Woods?
Well, I think it's a traditional Tiger round here, opening early round, and you got to realize one thing too. Obviously, this is what we'd almost call Tiger's playground, but Justin Rose is no stranger to this place either, guys. I mean, he's got an English flag next to his name, but he's more Orlando than a lot of other people realize. He lives here. You know, he frequents restaurants around here all the time, so you know, 65 isn't going to hurt anybody, especially him.
Absolutely. Nice little 65 round. All right, thanks for the update. Appreciate it, Keith. And by the way, CF tonight, 9 o'clock, the game will be on. You can get it on the njcc.org website and watch it. Big win last night for the Patriots, and now they're in the Elite Eight trying to get to the semifinals. Yeah, a very good win last night for those guys. That was a team that lived and died by the 3, and that they played Motlow. They died by the 3, and tell you what, McCrory and Eason were absolutely tremendous with their inside presence and couldn't do anything, and Suarez had a good night too with 16 points. So yeah, things are looking good. It was close there for a while, but then midway second half they went on 11-4 run, and it was over at that point. So good job by the Patriots. Appreciate it, man. Talk to you later. All right, guys, thanks for having me. We appreciate it. Take care now. Talk to you tomorrow or whatever. Thanks. Keith Chartrand. That's njcaa.org//sports. You can watch the game live tonight. The Patriots play
they're gonna have
Central Arizona.
They're going to have it live again at Gators Dockside, too. I wouldn't watch a little bit of it last night.
There you go.
Pretty good.
All right, so let's talk about that. This win last night. Let's evaluate this thing, because it now is obviously beyond just a lucky streak. When you win games like that, it's more like destiny.
We're talking about the Miami Heat.
Miami
now,
Heat,
right?
yeah, not the Patriots. But when you win games like this, when you're down on LeBron James' old court, and people obviously, one fan ran out on the court. By the way, you see that?
Shook his hand.
Yeah, shook his hand, and yeah, I know it wasn't
And
like
then
he was
went to
trying to hurt
jail.
him. Yeah, and it's raucous. They're getting hammered. And people are saying on ESPN they're updating. In fact, at halftime of the other game, was it Brooklyn, whoever they were playing?
Dallas.
They talked about the fact that Bill Simmons says, "I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about the Heat." You know, and
that's why I like Bill Simmons.
Yeah. So and of
and
course,
you know what's amazing about the game is Kyrie Irving wasn't playing.
Mm-hmm.
A couple other of the Cleveland starters weren't even playing. So it's amazing how they could get a 27-point lead.
Yeah.
And I heard Wade say today something like, you know, it actually makes it harder to come back when you're having a win streak like that, because you think, listen, we've already won all these games.
Right.
You know, do we really need to?
It wears on
try
you.
that hard?
It wears on you. John Elway had a tremendous ability to bring the Broncos back. That was his trademark, and he won game after game after game after game with fourth quarter comebacks. And I said to him one time, I said, "Don't you love it?" He said, "No." I said, "What do you mean, no?" He says, "Because it's nerve-wracking."
Right.
He said, "Absolutely So I'm sure it was nerve-wracking, JJ, to them a little bit last night.
Well, let me pose this question to you. Cleveland without Kyrie Irving, without two of their best players, Kyrie Irving, who else was out last night, JJ?
I'm not sure.
But they had two of their best players missing. They still go up 27, but Miami admittedly wasn't playing very good. Is that a bigger comeback, even though the point total says yes? I'll put this out. I think it's easier to come back against a bad team than it is to come back against a team like Cleveland's not as good as Boston. Boston's not good, by the way, but they're not as good
They
as...
came back against Boston.
But that's what I'm saying.
Ago.
17 points. I think the 17 points against Boston is a much better comeback than the 27 points against Cleveland.
Yeah, it's also Boston without KG or Rondo. So.
But Danny Green at the time was throwing in some insane amount of points.
I don't agree with you on that. And by the way, all you folks who picked Marquette, you're in trouble. 4:38 to go. Davidson 49, Marquette 42.
And I picked Marquette.
Yeah, there you go. It's just going to kill you today. I would say no, because I would say this game, because for a couple reasons. A, it's further along the streak again. It's also the home court.
It's one game further
All
along.
right, well, it's still one further game. But it's a tough situation to win in. LeBron's old hometown. They're bound to have a mental lapse at some point in time. And they were down by a bigger margin. I just think it was a bigger win. To me, maybe not in the scheme of things in terms of what it means in the standings or what it means about team versus team. But to me, because of how they did it, and that's what we're talking about, this is a huge win for this team. And now I don't know. They may break LA's record.
JJ, do you think it's a bigger comeback than against Boston?
Yes, especially because it's in Cleveland, and 27 points is 27 points.
Well, here's
and
what,
it's the NBA.
I posed that question to find out what both of y'all would say. A very prominent NBA player and now analyst, Kurt Rambis.
Oh, they don't need it no more than
Kurt
we do.
Rambis?
Yeah, I don't care.
We know more about Kurt Rambis.
Here's what Kurt Rambis said.
Yeah.
Before you get all defensive, here's what Kurt Rambis said. He said, any win against teams like Cleveland, and he put like the Bobcats or anything. He said any wins when you come back against those kind of teams, because those are games that's very difficult to get up for in the first place, because they're bad teams. You know they're bad, so you go in sort of lackadaisical anyway. And so to have to win those games, he thinks that's better wins against subpar teams the way Miami's doing it than when they did it against Boston, because at least they knew they were going to have a tough game in Boston. He thinks that in a streak like this, to turn that switch on every night, day in and day out, is that it's much harder to do against the weak teams than it is to do against the good teams.
All right, I take back what I said about him. He's right. And here's why. Because basketball coaches and players will tell you this one thing. What are the keys to great rebounding and great defense? Will.
Right.
You got to have that will, and teams have a hard time, especially with 82 games, getting up for this many games, and they're not going to play as well in Cleveland as they would say on a head-to-head
San
game
Antonio
or Lakers or whoever. Even they're not going to play as well. So I agree with Rambis. He got it right. I take back what I said.
Okay, so how far are y'all talking streak?
I like your San Antonio pick.
See, it's looking better and better every day.
Because they're such a good team,
Right.
And they depends on their injuries and situation, but
it's at Chicago too. That Chicago game keeps bothering me.
That team is just
not good.
They look so bad
good.
one night. They look so bad. They're playing better, but I don't know. I think they're. What are they? 23 now?
They're like the 5th seed.
So 23
in
is
the
that what it
East.
is? 23, right?
24.
No, they're at 24.
All right, 24. I think you'll get up there in the high 20s, maybe. I don't know. If they beat San Antonio, they got a shot at the Laker record.
If they beat San Antonio, that's 29.
They got a real shot at that record if they do that.
The odds in Vegas to actually win out the rest of the regular season is only 10-1.
Really?
Yeah. So they're going to be favored in every single game.
I think it'd be 100-1 to win out the rest of the season.
No
do you
way.
How many games? How many games?
Barely any.
Oh no, there's only like 17 games.
I thought it was like 25 games.
No, there's like 17 left.
Well, 17 still.
You want to go
still
through the
pretty
record
low.
really quick? Let's do that.
What's left?
Yeah, it's not going to be.
But the San Antonio game's the only it's at San Antonio, so that's a tough basketball game.
I give it to us.
They played Detroit at Miami next, so you would expect that to be an easy win. That would be 25. 26 would be Charlotte. 27 Orlando.
Well, there's 3 dogs right there.
Yeah. So 28 would be at Chicago next Wednesday.
I don't think they'll beat Chicago. So that's 28.
Then New Orleans. 29.
They went 29.
San Antonio.
30 is the magic number.
Yeah. So San Antonio will be 30, and that would be.
What
Sunday
if they beat them? What do they have to do to
31st?
get to 33? 34?
All right. 31 would be Knicks. 32 would be Charlotte again.
Yeah.
33 would be Philly. At home and at home against Milwaukee.
So they break the record.
Knicks could be a
against the
tough
Bucks.
game for them. Knicks could be a real tough game for them.
I don't know. About
I think Knicks are better.
I don't
than you
see
think
them tripping against anyone except San Antonio. Really.
Well, we'll see. Knicks can play you pretty good.
They will be favorites the rest of the season.
Yeah. All right. 49-44 Davison. 5 points over favored Marquette
3
with
minutes left.
3:28 to go. So we'll keep you up to speed with that. We'll take a break. Come back. We'll talk about Kentucky Derby horses. Good news for Tom. One of his ponies is back on the track. We shall visit Michael W. Compton next, right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
If you missed last Friday's Community Gazette Day at Gateway Bank, you missed the first installment of the Ask the Cop show, airing every second and fourth Friday from Gateway Bank. With your host, Buddy Martin, Chief Greg Graham of Ocala's Police Department, and Sheriff Chris Blair of Marion County Sheriff's Office joined us to talk about what steps they took for a smooth transition once they took over the leadership role of their individual police departments.
Give me a 60-second update of what's happened to the Sheriff's Office. Well, you know, my first 5 weeks in there, the big thing is just looking at the organization and studying it. And we're basically looking at a lot of feedback. We're bringing retirees back to the Sheriff's Office, evaluators, along with some community leaders and business people to go into the Sheriff's Office, engage with our people there, the employees, to try to get some feedback, and so that we can look at the entire organization from a different perspective. And we'll make changes and do our organizational structure from that feedback.
And Greg, hasn't been that long ago you were doing the same thing with your department.
Yeah, I've been back a year now. January 15th is a year, and I truly believe, as does the sheriff, that the people that best know how to run the organization are the people that actually do the work in the organization. That's those men and women that are out there every day answering those calls for service, dealing with the public. So, I did the same thing. I sought a lot of input and engaged the men and women that work there, and we made some pretty significant changes and some small changes, and they've been part of the process, and it's gone really well. I tell you, I can't. I'm so honored to be back in Ocala, but certainly even more honored to have the opportunity to work and play with the men and women that belong to the Ocala Police Department.
Join us for Ask the Cops on the second and fourth Friday of every month, live from Gateway Bank's Community Gazette Day on the Voice of Ocala on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Look who just walked in the room, Joel Wiesner from What's Up Ocala. Hey, Joel, I'm looking for something to do this weekend. You got any ideas?
Absolutely. Check out our event calendar online at www.whatsupocala.com, and there is plenty of events there for you. Daily news updates to event reviews and magazine articles.
Really?
We've organized it all in one place online for you to cut through all of the hassle of finding something to do this weekend. We have a daily event calendar, a bi-monthly magazine, and we also do daily news articles.
All right, Joel, that's perfect. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Whatsupocala.com.
Call me crazy,
Some people say Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. I think Insanity is 1,000 single-sided full-color business cards for $15, or packing service for 50% off. Call me crazy. Regency Printing, on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Look for the yellow signs.
Hey, Larry, nice haircut.
Oh, thanks, Robin. Looks like you had something different done, too.
Yes, I did. Thanks for noticing. I went to Lupe at Merle Norman on the Boulevard for a fresh cut, some summer highlights, and a facial.
No kidding. That's who I go to. I didn't know she did all that.
She does coloring, waxing, styling, updos, microderms, and she does it all for prices that won't break the bank.
Sounds like you can take the whole family there.
As a matter of fact, I do.
Hi, this is Lupe. Let me be your personal stylist. To set up your appointment, call me today, 426-1229.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
We're jamming right straight from your...
Hi, if you're looking at your brackets and feeling sorry for yourself, it happens. Right now, Davison leading Marquette 51-46 with 1:49 to go. Pittsburgh got clobbered. You know, in the world of betting and gambling, heartbreak is a common thing. I can tell you that our next guest will verify that. It's you never stay on top too long, Michael Compton, but you don't stay down all the time either, do you, when you bet on ponies?
Oh, man, I tell you. Yeah, I love your openings every week, buddy, and I hate to laugh every time, but you're so right with all of your openings. And, yeah, horse racing is a very humbling game, but hope springs eternal is what they always say in this game, and there's always tomorrow, and it sure is testing on the patience for sure. It's
you've been around the guys who do it every day, and, boy, I tell you, it takes a special kind of guy to endure that kind of pressure, but it's something. Now, speaking of selecting horses, you got some good news for Tom Schmitz today, didn't you?
Really good news for Tom. His uncaptured. Better news for me because, placing those first wagers for you guys, he was left off. So Tom has a $2 saver on uncaptured at 30 or 40 to 1. So.
Whoa.
So he has a couple dollars on the horse. But, yeah, Mark Cassie's uncaptured is coming back this weekend in the Spiral Stakes. And he's a really nice colt. And, I did talk to Mark briefly yesterday. I didn't get any quotes from him on record, but he's real happy with the way that the horse has been training. And he trains here in Ocala over at OBS, officially called the Ocala Training Center. But he's been getting legged up for his first start over there, and Mark's really encouraged by the way that he has trained. And like you talk about the ups and downs of this game, the horse was very impressive as a 2-year-old, but he came out of his last race with a little bit of an injury. So, this wasn't the plan that I'm sure Mark had in mind for this horse, having to slow things down and take a different route. But now he is starting Saturday, so it will be very interesting to see how he performs and, if Kathy can get him ready for the Derby in time.
That's the Spiral Stakes at Turfway. I don't know where Turfway Park is. Where is that?
Turfway Park is in Florence, Kentucky, right before the bridge over to Cincinnati.
Okay. You know it well, huh?
Yes, I've been to Turfway a couple of times and caught some Reds games
there you go.
afterwards.
So there are a few horses out there that, like I said, we'll find one or two or three with an Ocala connection for the Derby before it's over, won't we?
Yeah, I mean, last week we talked a little bit about the Rebel Stakes going into that race, and you talk about such a tough game. Dwayne Lucas, who you are very familiar with, has been quiet in recent years, and he had the 1-2 finishers in the Rebel Stakes over the weekend. And we touched on Den's Legacy. That was the Florida bred, and he ran third in the race, and an encouraging effort for that horse. I would expect that Florida bred to move forward and go on to the Arkansas Derby. But to see Dwayne Lucas, 2 horses that he conditions, come charging down the stretch that day, that's a name that, he's certainly accomplished a bunch in horse racing, but he has been quiet in the last few years, and it's like a lot of athletes, they kind of go in cycles, and they hit slumps or some periods where, things just don't quite go their way. And Dwayne Lucas was definitely on that track for the last few years, and he looks like he has 2 pretty serious horses for the Derby this year now.
It's always better when you got Dwayne Lucas and Bob Baffert and Todd Pletcher and people like that who got Derby horses, isn't it?
It definitely is, and those are the guys that tend to have the clients that spend the money to get the horses, at the sales and the big farm operations that breed these types of horses year in and year out, and they definitely know how to get the horses to the big dance. So they're a lot of fun on the way there. Obviously, the stories and the history and their success in the race, it makes it interesting to chronicle for sure, the lead up to it.
And Lucas has got a horse in this Spiral Stakes as well, I see, and in Channel Isle, a long shot.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about that horse.
Well, obviously they don't either. But nonetheless, all right, so update us real fast on the other Derby hopefuls. Any news from any locals, or how the horses that we have, Golden Sense. How's Golden Sense doing these days?
Yeah, Golden Sense, and we talked a little bit about him last week. Flashback and Golden Sense both were a little disappointing. I still think it's too early to write them off completely, and both of those runners will come back in the Santa Anita Derby. So in the next few weeks, some of these horses, like you said, that race was a little disappointing. You don't really want to see horses take backward steps, meaning not improving on the way to the Derby. You always want to see a horse get better with each race and show a new dimension. Those 2 horses failed to show that new dimension last time, but they will return in the Santa Anita Derby. So they're still going to get another chance to get into the starting gate for the Kentucky Derby. And then we have the Florida Derby, which will be coming up, and those horses, obviously, Violence went down to injury, and he was part of that group, so he won't be returning there. But last year's champ, Shanghai Bobby, he was the 2-year-old champ. He'll be in there. Orb, who beat Violence last time, will return there. And It's My Lucky Day, who does have some ties here. His broodmare sire, the father of the mother of It's My Lucky Day, stands out at Hallmark Stallions, Donerail Court. So, and there is a Florida bred that jumped up into the Florida Derby fray, and his name is Merit Man. And his sire with distinction stands at Hartley Dorenzo. So another Florida bred, Den's Legacy, one of them, and he's in Arkansas. Now Merit Man may make a start in the Florida Derby. So that would help the Florida bred product.
Now, I know you're a sports fan. I know you suffer with your Lakers. And that, do you follow much college basketball?
I try to, and I've got a pull for the Bruins. I'm a UCLA guy from California,
yeah.
So I know that they've had some injuries and everything. I don't get to keep up with it as much as I'd like, and I know they're Minnesota in the first round.
I'm afraid to tell you, I like Minnesota. I was a sleeper in that
Everybody
game.
does, so not a lot of hopes there. But we'll certainly try to catch some of these games on the way, and I don't have a bracket filled out or anything.
Okay.
But
well, what do we know? I've already lost Pittsburgh, and I'm about to lose Davidson and Marquette. Marquette is trailing now by 2 points with 20 seconds to go, so it's crash and burn time. You know how that goes sometimes.
Absolutely. So now you guys know how horse players and trainers and owners and breeders feel most of the time.
Except it's a little bit more serious when it happens to them. When it's your living is going down the tubes, it's a little bit more difficult. I would never have the temperament to be able to own a horse. That would be a nut job. Of course, I'm a nut job anyway, so.
It would be tough.
Michael, it's always a pleasure. You can read Michael on michaelw.compton.com. He's really a knowledgeable guy. He joins us here as we count it down for the Derby. Not that long to the first Saturday in May. You know what that means. Derby time. Thanks,
Very
Michael.
Close. Thank you, buddy. Always a pleasure.
All right, man. Thank you. All right. Scores. Davis now up by 4. Looks like Davidson will upset Marquette.
Davidson just went up by 4.
It's 10 seconds to go, so it's over. So another one crashing and burning. 3 beaten by a 14. That's a pretty significant.
That's 58-57.
I know, but it's 12 seconds to go. 10. Got no timeouts.
Marquette has hit 3 3-pointers like in garbage time.
They just fouled Davidson.
Yeah, it's gone now. It's over. 6 seconds, yeah.
But Davidson makes his free throws. It's still only a 3-point game.
Right.
Yeah, but 6 seconds is not.
Of
Well,
course, we don't have True TV, and the internet video is a little bit slow.
You get it at home?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got True TV at home too.
I don't know if it's an HD though.
It didn't look like it. It didn't look like it was an HD. Aren't we spoiled? We have to have HD now.
I know. But CBS is showing every single game online, which is cool. But right now, there's 20 seconds left online. Actually, only 5 in real life.
I'm watching on Yahoo. I signed up for their app.
All right.
And so you can get all the games there too. So, or most of them on CBS.
What do you want to take a break early and watch the end of this, and then
we only got to so give people a final here in about 2 seconds, so we might as well hang it for about a minute.
Well, we could give you an update real quick on Arnold Palmer.
Go ahead. Teddy just birdied 16, so a little bit better for Teddy Potter.
Teddy's back to he's at 3 over par after birdieing 16.
Have to get that down there some.
He birdies 18. 18's a birdie hole. It's just a very intimidating hole.
Or if you're Gomez, it's an eagle hole.
It is an eagle hole. There's a plaque out there that says
I've seen it. I've actually seen it, yeah. So updating the scores real fast today. By the way, so far, Oklahoma State also getting beat at 5 versus 12, 37-26 right now for Oregon. Gonzaga having a tough time with Southern, up by 3, 34-31.
Sad.
At the half.
Yeah, and if you didn't hear earlier, then Valpo got beaten by Michigan State just by 11. Butler survived over Bucknell 68-56. Wichita crushed our Pittsburgh. We all three had Pittsburgh team, and then we've got other games underway, which we'll catch up on. Memphis, by the way, beating St. Mary's 54-52. They struggled in that game. So
wow, Marquette just got the ball on a long out of bounds play.
Really?
Yes.
So they had the ball. What
yes,
in the world did Davidson do?
They're in a timeout right now. Davidson was trying to beat the trap and threw it out of bounds.
Oh my goodness.
Marquette now has the ball. 4 seconds left.
Marquette just won the game.
2 seconds.
Marquette just won the basketball game.
Marquette won it. Wow.
Marquette wins the basketball
1 second
game.
to go. They hit a 3? No, 2.
They hit a 2. There's 1 second left on the clock.
Thank you, Marquette.
That stinks for Miami.
Why Miami?
Well, they're in that bracket.
So they can't man up with Marquette?
No, I know they can. I'm just saying it would have made the road a little bit easier.
Let's be honest.
I had Marquette picked. I needed Davidson to lose.
Tom and I can't afford taking more hits today.
No, we certainly cannot.
Crushed here. So you had Marquette, didn't you, JJ?
Yeah, but
okay, all right.
You know, I told you I'm not worried about my bracket anymore.
But stop complaining and whining.
I'm
and
a fan of Miami.
And jumping off. Well, you were jumping off Miami's bandwagon 2 days ago. You didn't want to tell you. I'm not rooting for them. Now you're on it.
No,
Which are you, JJ?
What do you mean? I never said I'm not rooting for them. I said I don't think they're going to the Final Four.
What did he say, Tom?
He doesn't think they're going to the Final Four.
Okay, well, that's what you said.
Okay, I know that's what I said.
But you got to make up your mind. Are you for them? Do you believe in them? Because I'm out there.
I believe that
I picked them to win the national championship.
I believe they're the second best team in the nation. I just believe that the first best team in the nation is also in their bracket.
So
Indiana.
They're not unbeatable.
I think that Indiana will beat them, though.
All right. Well, you may be
Jeez,
right.
Can I not be a realist? Can I take off the orange and green glasses?
Once in a while, I want you to represent, but you can't have it both ways. If you're not going to represent today, you can't represent tomorrow.
You act like I can't cheer for my team yet think they're not going to win every single game.
JJ,
remember.
JJ, you're not getting out of this one, okay?
Remember,
I got you on tape. I got you.
I haven't said anything.
You're not going to wiggle out of this, JJ. I got you.
Well, how about we wiggle to a break?
We'll do that. Come back and talk more about the updates. And we've got Franz Beard coming your way right here on the Voice of Ocala Buddy Sports page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family-first club. Again, we have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center that's second to none, and we have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family would ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source. Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
If you add 0 plus 0 plus 0, it adds up to what? 0. For a limited time, you can drive a new 2013 Ford Fiesta, Focus, Fusion, Edge, Escape, or Explorer with 0 down, 0 do-it signing, and 0 first month payment. But if you're one who might need a little more influence, how about we include another 0? A 3-year, 45,000-mile complimentary basic maintenance plan. That's just the way we roll at Ford Lincoln of Ocala. It's the power of 4G. Great brands at great prices with great service from great people. You can miss out on a lot of things in life, but whatever you do, be sure not to miss this extraordinary opportunity to drive a new Ford with 0 down, 0 do-it signing, 0 first month payment, and no charge 3-year basic maintenance during Ford Lincoln of Ocala's Sign and Ride event. Browse our inventory from the comfort of your home at fordofocala.com, but you're still going to have to come in. You see, it's called a Sign and Ride event. See dealer for details.
Well, the new year is upon us, and that means getting to those forgotten projects that you promised you would. So whether you're tackling a small honey-do list or building the Taj Mahal, Sunbelt Rentals will help you get the job done right with the right tools. From carpet cleaners to excavators, Sunbelt Rentals has what you need. So what are you waiting for? Get it done. Rent it now. From Sunbelt Rentals, located on Highway 27, just a half-mile east of I-75, or visit sunbeltrentals.com. Get it done. Rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals.
Keep up with what's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper. Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
It's March Madness, March Mayhem. It's crazy. Games are really starting to get exciting, as we just saw Marquette coming from the back, hitting 3 straight threes. One person described them as 3 bad threes, and eking out a win in the final seconds against Davidson, 59-58. And Franz Beard, the good teams have to survive games like this, don't they?
Yes, they do. And this is the kind of thing that the Gators are going to have to watch out for tomorrow, because they're playing the nation's highest-scoring team, Northwestern State, and this is a team that has no conscience when it comes to throwing up threes or throwing up shots. And these are guys that they're going to keep throwing them up there even if they're missing. And those are the kind of teams you worry about, because what happens if they hit a hot streak there? So you got to play them, you got to take them very seriously, you got to play them tough. And the name of the game at this point, survive and advance.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I know you got your bracket filled out. I gave my Final Four yesterday and my national champion. I might surprise you when you're here. Give me yours.
I like Louisville to win it all. I don't think there's a team out there that's as good as Louisville. I don't
Who do they beat?
Out there. I like them to play the winner of Ohio State and Miami in the championship game.
And who do you like in Ohio State and Miami?
No, excuse me. It would be.
Here's what I got. I've got Miami VCU, okay, Ohio State, and Louisville. Okay, I've got.
I could see that because I could see VCU giving Kansas fits. Kansas does not handle the ball well. This is why Florida can beat Kansas if the Gators can get Kansas in the finals.
If they can get to the game,
Gators like VCU can press them. I mean, I'm talking about in the finals of their region.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as we already have seen, obviously Davidson just almost upset Marquette. And then Pittsburgh, who a lot of people had advancing. I did, quite a couple of wins. So did our group here. Everybody had, and all four of us had Pittsburgh get creamed by Wichita State. Those 8-9 games are hard to pick, aren't they?
They really are. And the games from 6 to 11 and everything in between, it's next to impossible because all those teams are just very, very evenly matched. 6-11, 7-10, 8-9. Those three games are without a doubt the worst. And if you look at the Gators, for example, the Gators got knocked off the year before they won their first national championship. They came in as a 6th seed. Faced, let's see, who was it that they faced? Ohio University. Got knocked off in the first round in a 6-11 game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's been a couple of games. I thought the Bucknell-Butler game was one of the best. That was a really good game because it was tight, and Bucknell was actually leading by 7 with about 10 minutes to go, and Butler very calmly came back and took care of business and handled the ball correctly and made their foul shots. The two things that Florida's just going to have to do. And you know what cost Davidson the game? They had out of bounds play, and they threw the ball away out of bounds with 5. Threw the ball out of bounds with 5 seconds to play. That cost them the game.
They let Vanderbilt get in there and get a layup to win that ball game. I've always wondered in situations like that why you don't throw the ball deep.
Yeah,
you're probably going to get fouled on there if you can't hit the guy. If you can't get the guy immediately on the inbounds pass, throw the ball deep. Just throw it very, very high in the air and almost make it a fair catch situation because your guy then has the right to establish position